Welcome to GPVWC and Formula Sprint 1. The third step on the career ladder is primed for another action-packed season in 2025, with a compelling blend of accomplished drivers raring to start anew, new appointees making the next step up, and well-regarded competitors from the wider R Factor 2 world. Let's begin with Malta Force GP. The reigning champions took their first title in 7 years in 2024 after some excellent performances from both the eventual champion Mike Quint and teammate Menno Clont. This season sees an all-new, all-Polish lineup step up to the plate as reigning Formula Sprint 2 champion Mateusz Majka is joined by FS1 podium finisher Paweł Andrzejewski. Majka impressed immediately in FS2 with the Reading Game squad, but a mid-season switch to Optimal Esports supercharged his title bid and led to a run of 14 podiums, including 6 victories. His substitute drives in FS1 last season saw him consistently finish inside the top 6, including a first podium in the finale at Brazil. Known for his blistering speed, there's every chance that Majka could bank another title this season. Andrzejewski has dipped his toes in every single series of the GPV ladder, but has never really stayed long enough to taste success until last season, when he had some very good results with Hyperion Esports and Parallax Volpino. He came agonisingly close to taking his first victory in the feature race at both Singapore and the United States. Now given a full-time drive, expect big things from Paweł this season. MS Performance. Harry Smith's MS Performance team returns for a second season in FS1 after taking 10 victories on their way to third position in the points last season. Wesley Stefano returns to the GPV ladder after 7 years away, and he is joined by GPV newcomer Raymond van Soest. Dutchman Stefano was 10th in the 2018 FS2 standings after scoring 2 podiums for Mayer Downard Racing and has a lot of R Factor 2 experience, but is returning to the GPV ladder after a long absence with only a select number of academy races in between. Stefano hasn't been idle while he's been away and is keen to show what he's learned this season. Fellow Dutch driver Van Soest brings with him a wealth of sim racing experience on R Factor 2 and Assetto Corsa, and he also set the third fastest time in pre-season testing. Expect him to bring his endurance pedigree to the fore with some brilliant racecraft. HGP Motorsports. Frank Hamming's Dutch outfit enjoyed a very solid run to 4th place last season with consistent podium finishes from their team owner and lead driver. Just 18 points behind MS Performance, they will be hoping to break back into the top 3 as Vin Glenn bolsters the driver lineup. Hamming took 2 brilliant reverse grid wins in Montreal and Kota last season on his way to 3rd in the championship, best of the rest behind title contenders Quint and Victor Ivanov. His race pace and race craft has never been in any doubt, but his Achilles heel has always been his one-lap pace in qualifying, and is something he will need to overcome if he wants to take that first title. Glenn's short GPV career includes a top 10 finish in Superlights in Brazil at the end of last season for drag racing, followed by a 16th place finish in the Super League round for Green Stripes Racing as he lost the final point in the final few laps. The German is expected to be strong in FS1 and could be Hamming's strongest full-time teammate in quite some time. Griffon Esports. Griffon were settling in for an anonymous season in the lower end of the field until Szymon Frelich joined the team midway through 2024 and won 9 races for Davide Capruzzi's squad, single-handedly launching them up to 5th in the points table. Filip Koenig stays with the team for a second season and is joined by Poland's Kasper Michalak. Koenig enters his 5th consecutive season in FS1 in the middle of a lean period where results have been hard to come by. 2024 saw only one top 10 finish for the German. This was in the final race of the season in Brazil, and more often than not, he would run long in order to help out his teammate Frelich. After scoring just 25 points last season, Koenig needs to turn things around in 2025. Returning to FS1 after 2 seasons, Michalak has been a regular PZZW driver in FS2 and FS1. His finishing record, unfortunately, is littered with retirements. The aim for this season will be to score points consistently and see the checkered flag more often. KKR Esports. Matthew McKinnon's squad had a strong start to 2024 as star driver Lucas Tylene impressed in the first half of the season. The second half was much harder going as some retirements meant that the Australian team slipped to 8th in the points table. Tylee stays on for a second season with KKR and is now joined by veteran and fellow race winner Menno Klont. Tylee became something of a reverse grid specialist in his first full FS1 season in 2024, winning them in Saudi Arabia, Britain and most dramatically in China, where he stole the win from Isaac Clarke in the final few corners of the race. The final half of the season had fewer high peaks, but was still good enough for the Super Suite to finish 7th in the driver's standings. After topping pre-season testing, big things are expected from him in 2025. It was 9 years between victories for Klont in FS1, but it was well worth the wait as he held on to the lead to take a long-awaited and emotional victory at Imola. 28 points finishes across the season allowed him to help Multiforce to the team's title. Now he hopes to do the same with KKR. Hyperion Esports. Named after one of the moons of Saturn, Hyperion are back for a 4th season in FS1. Last year they were 11th and failed to finish on the podium, which is something that returning Polish duo Mateusz Zubinski and Mateusz Dabrowski are tasked with rectifying. Starting his 5th FS1 season in 2025, Zubinski had a tough season last year for Hyperion, scoring 12 times and retiring in 8 races. With only 2 top 10 finishes all season, Zubinski needs to return to his podium finishing form from past seasons to get Hyperion back up the standings. Dabrowski endured a miserable season last year, retiring 7 times and only scoring a total of 9 points after scoring only twice. Whatever happens, 2025 can only be an improvement for Dabrowski. Pixelate Esports. Stefan McCready's Pixelate team started 2024 well, as Isaac Clarke took pole position in Saudi Arabia before just being pipped to the win in China by Tylee. Unfortunately, the team has found it tough to find any stability in the driver lineup with the revolving door of substitutes, meaning they fell to 13th in the points table. Now, Italy's Massimiliano Riboli is given a full-time seat at the team, alongside part-time Super League driver Janssen Bintz. After a few strong seasons, Riboli left FS2 in the middle of 2024 to substitute in FS1 with Kings Racing, getting a point on his first race of the season in Saudi Arabia. He would score points 5 more times before switching to the Pixelate team. Bintz of Luxembourg has yet to achieve any major results in GPV, but he has enjoyed a lot of success in endurance racing on R Factor 2 and Le Mans Ultimate. 100 to 1. Ben Constantine's team were the underdogs of FS1 last year, and at the start of the season they struggled just to get a driver to the checkered flag, let alone in the points. However, Eoin Hausvik joined the team from round 4 onwards and became a regular threat for points, scoring enough to lift the British team off the bottom of the table. Phil Hausvik is now back to lead the team for a full season this time and is joined by fellow Norwegian and sometime Academy racer Marcus Christensen. Apex Grand Prix. With a 3rd position in the Formula Sprint 2 standings last season, Domenico Scarpelli's Apex Grand Prix makes the step up to FS1 after just 1 season in the junior category. Lead drivers Yassi Latinen and Oliver Taras returned to the team after both had to abandon their FS2 campaigns in the middle of last year. However, both have shown great form in FS1 already and will definitely be ones to watch in 2025. Latinen was leading the FS2 standings in the middle of last season when he had to abandon his title hopes due to having to undergo military service in his native Finland. In the end, he was still able to finish 6th in the standings despite missing the last 16 races. He also achieved consistent top 7 results towards the end of his 2023 FS1 campaign with Friesland, so there's great potential that the Finn can deliver across the full campaign. Englishman Taras had a great start to his FS2 season last year, but in the reverse grid encounters, things kept unravelling as he was involved in several big incidents. A mid-season switch to Lunark in FS1 worked wonders for his confidence as he beat Loic Meunier to take his first podium in Baku and then scored another 2 podiums in the Brazil finale as well as 10 other points finishes. Expect him and Latinen to be evenly matched once again. 01 Esports. David Wasserman's 01 team was 6th in their Formula Sprint 2 debut season last year, and the German outfit has been given an immediate promotion to FS1 and has taken on new drivers Tom Lafont and Juho Sopanen. Lafont is a newcomer to GPV, having only done a few impressive academy rounds last year, but he has a lot of experience in iRacing, where he drives for 01's sister team Velerone Racing. With the 5th fastest time in pre-season testing, the Frenchman could be one to watch this season. Soppinen is another iRacing regular, making the leap to FS1 after a couple of seasons in academy, and in 2023 he was the champion of the FIA F4 Esports Regional Tour for Northern Europe in Division 8. A very solid and consistent driver, expect him to challenge for points. LEF Auto Racing. This Croatian team owned by Lorenzo Atarovic makes its bow in GPV, fielding two Americans, the experienced Sven de Vries and rookie Alexander Gonzalez Green. A two-time runner-up in FS1 in 2014 and 2016 with Satellite Racing, Dutch-born American de Vries is returning to GPV after a 4-year sabbatical. With 27 wins and 72 podiums from 156 races, he brings with him a glittering CV. But can he recapture his past form with LEF this year? A race winner in Academy last season, American driver Gonzalez Green enters FS1 as a rookie after just one event in FS2 in 2024, where he impressively placed 6th in the reverse grid race at Kota. Highly rated by many despite his lack of experience, expect him to get stronger as the season goes on. Nexium Pole Team. Feeling that one all-Polish team wasn't enough representation in FS1, Kamil Schmeyer has thrown his hat into the ring by entering the Pole Team outfit for this season. The lineup features Patrick Roszak and Mateusz Gazowski. Roszak had his best season to date with Parallax Volpino in 2024 with 4 top 4 finishes, narrowly missing out on the podium on each occasion. Despite reverse grids being his Achilles heel, he had a much more consistent season on his way to 14th in the points table. In his 6th FS1 campaign, Roszak could well be at his best with the new Pole Team squad. Gazowski had to spend last season without a full-time drive, instead acting as Hyperion Super Sub. But when he did get the call-up, he delivered, scoring points 8 times from 10 appearances, including a best ever top 5 in Imola and a 6th in the final race at Interlagos. Now back to a full-time seat, expect him to shine once again. Overpower. Owned and run by Super Venturi's Marco Furlich, Tomas Smith and Scott Flack are reunited as teammates at this new Finnish squad, hoping to find success in their rookie GPV campaigns. Smith only had a cameo appearance in FS1 last season for HGP in Singapore, but it's FSR where the Dutchman has shone these past few years, dominantly winning the FSR Academy title in 2023 before taking 2 podiums on his way to 6th in their Pro Championship last year. There's every chance he could translate his abundant talent to FS1 this season. Australian Flack has proven himself to be an outstanding qualifier in the FSR junior categories, although he seldom has had much luck in the races, leading him to take a pessimistic outlook on his chances. He did score 9 points in his outings for Pixelate at the tail end of last season, and in pre-season testing, he set the 2nd fastest time. Don't let his gloom and doom prophecies fool you. This is a seriously quick driver. Team Iris. The legendary Greek squad has enjoyed many years of success in endurance racing and now makes its bow in GPV. Longtime drivers Tun Lure and Carl Magnus Bore will be aiming to transfer their success to single-seaters. Dutchman Lure is an old hand in R-Factor 2 with many GT3 podiums to his name and is also the manager of the Visceral Esports iRacing team. A point scorer in FS2 back in 2021, he's been waiting a long time for a shot at FS1 and has finally gotten the chance to deliver. Sweden's Bore is another R-Factor 2 regular, and in 2024 he made it all the way to the quarter-finals of Sim Formula Europe. Regularly found in anything with a Team Iris livery on it, from touring cars to GT3s and now single-seaters, Bore has proven his incredible pace and natural talent time and time again. Team Shiba. The final new team in FS1 is the Team Shiba outfit from Italy. Named after the Japanese Shiba Inu dog breed, they are best known for their race-winning endurance exploits in the Esports Endurance Series. Team owner Francesco Bonardi has hired fellow countrymen in podium finishers Giuseppe Saracino and Lorenzo De Cutis to represent the team this season. Saracino started 2024 brilliantly with a 2nd place in Melbourne for Grifone before work commitments scuppered his season. He also had some strong performances in FSR Academy, winning 2 races on his way to 6th in the championship. If he can sort his availability out and stay out of trouble, then he could very well be a force to be reckoned with. 9th in the 2019 FS1 standings with TCS Off Racing, De Cutis returns to GPV for the first time since 2020. He has been a key part of Shiba's EES GT3 squad, helping them to win their class. Tidy, clean and consistent, Lorenzo comes back to FS1 even better than when he left. That completes the grid for Formula Sprint 1. This has been Eoin Harmon. Joining me in the commentary booth in 2025 will be Alex Hallows. We look forward to providing you with live coverage of the 16 event season. And it's time at last to get going for Formula Sprint 1 in 2025. I really hope you enjoyed that intro video, because Ed Hunter put in a heck of a lot of effort. And if there's anything that myself and he did not get correct, then yeah, lay it on me, because it's my fault. But anyway, let's get on with the work here. And it's a delight to welcome a new commentator to join me this campaign. It's Alex Hallows. So Alex, how are you getting on?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be picked for this season to commentate. Huge shout out to everyone behind the scenes making it all happen. And I'm very, very, very excited to see this first race and see how it concludes.
Absolutely. So yeah, it is a very enjoyable moment when Melbourne is picked as the season opener, as it was in 2024. It really does liven up the process, in my opinion. It does mean a lot of battles can take place. There are plenty of overtaking points, and it really does, I think, put a spring to the step. And of course, we have a 29 race feature to begin after qualifying, and then a 19 lap sprint race with the random grid draw. So yeah, even more new things, so that is familiar, but of course we do have new things to talk about, such as the push to pass and the change to how the points are awarded. But of course, one of the main things to note is the calendar. So we do have a mixture of familiar locations and some new. So here is a look at our 16 round calendar that we will take you from today all the way to the 30th of October. So it's Australia today. Then we go to Turkey, so Istanbul Park in 2 weeks' time. So that's a brand new one for this season. And then Suzuka, an early round again this year, with Saudi and Jeddah in the 4th position there. Spain and the United States paired up there. So Indianapolis, of course, is the US Grand Prix in this campaign, as opposed to being COTA, which was late on in the season. We have our spring break in between there, May and June, before we get back to work in Montreal, Silverstone, and the German Grand Prix there, Belgium, then Hungary is our next segment. So that's I think a 5-race segment for our summer break before the sprint to the line with Italy, Mexico, Singapore, Brazil, and then the finale is changed this year. It's going to be in Abu Dhabi or Yas Marina. So yeah, there is an interesting sort of small but nevertheless significant shake-up there, Alex.
Yeah, I really can't wait to be back here in Turkey. Well, I never raced in Turkey yet, but I think it's great to see Turkey back on the calendar this year. I'm especially excited to see how people will compete and fight in street circuits, predominantly Singapore. But the question is, who's going to get the upper hand in the first race of the season?
Exactly, yeah. There is a huge potential for all kinds of names to really make their mark. I know from our chat in pre-season testing, I believe that Malta Force have the experiences last year's teams champions, and of course letting Mike Quint go on his merry way as the new FS1 champion. So the fact that they've got a star-studded lineup with Matthews Micah, the FS2 champion, making the step up alongside Pavel Andrzejewski, one of the drivers with a real point to prove this campaign. I would be backing them personally, but as we saw in that preview video, a lot of drivers have their caliber and they're willing to show it off, whether we know them from last season, such as Frank Hamming, he'll be huge, and Lucas Tylien, of course. He got some big victories in 2024, so they will be eager to go. But of course, yeah, we have a lot of brand new drivers, either promoted up from elsewhere in the GPV system, or else they're coming in from other other leagues or other games, as a matter of fact. So definitely the likes of certainly Team Iris, I think, have a lot of prestige behind them. And of course, Sven de Vries is back after several years away. He's joining LEF Auto Racing. So a lot of names could cause us a surprise as we're starting to see our first lap times come in.
It seems that Maker has provisionally got the fastest so far, the 1:23.0, looking very strong already on his debut year. And will it stick? Will there be other drivers who may have the potential? I do know a few names from another league, FSR. We do have Scott Flack and Tom Smith in there, and Massimiliano Riboli as well. And I can't remember any other names that I remember, but I know that they are very hopeful drivers when I raced against them in the other league. But surprisingly, the FS2 champion Maker is doing really well.
Of course, yeah. It is certainly possible to win the FS2 and FS1 titles in consecutive years. Jack Mayer is the man you want to talk to if you want to know all about that, as he was the champion of FS1 in 2023, but the year before, 2022, he was the FS2 champion, so he knows what it takes to achieve something as special as that. Here's Menno Klont in brand new colours, moving from Multiforce to KKR. That is a very fascinating transfer because Menno has spent several stints with Multiforce, and now he's decided to try a totally brand new team in his career with KKR Esports. Raymond Van Sus there in the number 2. He takes over the number 2 car. Tom Satterley was the driver who most often drove that car. But of course, it was Victor Ivanov last year who shocked, or maybe certainly a shock, but not a surprise, if that makes any sense, that he got pole position on debut, and he won the feature race in a remarkable show to really lay down the marker. But of course, race 2 is a lot more chaotic, and he only got a P6 by his standards. So that's how Mike Quint paid him back and really made a fascinating duel for a lot of the year. But of course, Victor did have to miss a couple of rounds in the autumn time, so that's how he lost out on probably 50 to 60 points against Mike last season. But yeah, Victor was certainly absolutely remarkable in race 1 feature race conditions, getting a remarkable 4 wins in a row before he was eventually absent from Imola. So yeah, lots going on. But here's Vin Glenn in the HGP, partner up with Frank Hamming this season. So that's a key target, I'm sure, for HGP. We have to get both cars humming, as that was something they didn't quite manage to do last season, with Hamming picking up practically all of the podiums for the team last year. I think just one exception. I'll check who that was for you in just a sec. Yeah, I think it was Stan Valestra or something like that. Oh, I mightn't have seen that one myself. Well, that's why I'm getting a bit mixed up. But yeah, he did get a podium for HGP in the British Grand Prix. So yeah, that's one for you there.
I am just looking on the chat. Got Edward Hunter saying, I think Saracino will be strong here, who is so far P5 in the quali so far. Also, Juan Sen, heartbroken to see that Menno is no longer in the Multiforce team. And I feel your pain. I know that feeling, losing drivers. And as we see, Maker not improving Sector 1 by a bit, very slowly, and going around the fast chicane, and still maybe not improving his time. Would he make an improvement? I'm not sure. It's very close at the moment. But yes, he just goes around the few final corners in Sector 3. There we go. The steep break in here, and here we go. The last few corners. Is he going to go in? Yeah, he is. He's not going to make an improvement there.
We're over halfway through this qualifying session, 15 minutes in duration, and yeah, definitely smiles all around Multiforce at the moment. So yeah, obviously losing a team legend like Menno Clant, it is desperately sad. But the fact that I'm sure it was an amicable departure for both parties, and Multiforce so far living up to my expectations. The front row lockout with Micah nearly 0.3 of a second better than everybody. So I know in qualifying last year, it was super close despite Ivanov securing that pole position. And of course, Ed in the chat backs Giuseppe Saracino as he got P2 here in race 1 last year. So yeah, he really does have a knack for this track, and a brand new team like Team Sheba.
Purple Sector 2 as well.
Really does help out. And he's purple Sector 2, exactly. So let's see if he can improve. It's one position, P4. So Latinen has been knocked down. So Apex GP also very impressive here. So they have experienced drivers themselves. So it's definitely great to see some of our teams either promoted from FS2, like Apex, or a brand new team formed to fill the grid in 2025, like Team Sheba, picking up quality lap times already, with Lorenzo DeCutis there, also for Team Sheba in the top 10. But there's an improvement there. It was Menno Clant, so P5 for Clant, and that was a 123.4. So he's closing the gap quite nicely. But yeah, that certainly sends a signal to Lucas Tylene, who will feel like this is really his campaign to really make his mark on FS1. But if Menno outqualifies him in round 1, then yeah, there'll definitely be an interesting dynamic in that team.
Yeah, a great lap by Menno Clant. I think hopefully settling down with the new team this season, as much as people may or may not like to hear, but we still have a lot of time left. We've got 5 minutes left to qualify, so the clock is ticking down. Sorry. We do have a purple Sector 2 here from the Carl Magnus Borre, going around Sector 3 now. Going the next few corners. Just checking my my spotter guide quickly. Going around the last few corners here. Here we go. Could he make an improvement? A bit of a slide there, but oh no, he's botched it. I think. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for him. I think, and hopefully, Barry might do the same thing next time. Maybe get an improvement.
Yes, indeed. So Borre definitely has a positive feeling with his car. Just unfortunate that he may feel that he could do it all over again with time remaining. So yeah, you've about 2 very dedicated attempts to go in the 4 minutes remaining. Otherwise, you may just have to sit for 1 minute and just go for a final blast across the line. So as long as you, of course, have your hot lap begin before the clock strikes 0, then it's valid. So you could possibly get a 3rd attempt in if you abandon one of your attempts. Here's Vin Glenn, he's improving again, and it's P4. So one of our newcomers to the series is really showing the HGP mean business as well this campaign. Additional gold streaks on their livery this season. It's definitely makes a huge impression to me anyway. So yeah, HGP, they want to be teams champions this season, and to have 2 cars in the top 8 is absolutely brilliant for them. Pavel down in Sector 2 here, Alex. So it may not be a case of improving on this particular lap, unless he knows something I don't. And Frank Hamming is improving himself on his personal times. It could be 1/10 of a second better. It won't threaten Latinen unless he's absolutely secured these corners in Sector 3. Let's see, he gets on. It's a 1:23.5. Yeah, 1:23.5. So he lost out in the final sector, but it closed the gap slightly on Latinen.
Great lap, but slightly lost it in Sector 3 there. But a great lap overall for Frank Hamming for HGP, and a very impressive lap for Vin Glenn, who's currently P4 so far. But if they want to, be a contender for the team championship, they've got to get past Multiforce GP, who are currently 1-2 still in the qualifying. And we just there's a
Oh,
spin.
my word.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh, that's really unfortunate. I think that's going to be qualifying done for Giuseppe Saracino,
yeah.
and I think it was a favourite as well for a few viewers at home. And yeah, he's in the pit. No more laps for Saracino
Picked
until
up
the
very
race.
much grass in the 11-12 chicane. Janssen Bintz actually went into the gravel, pushing so hard, but he didn't lose the rear end at all. So yeah, I think he's just a bit frustrated now. He's lost this lap. Would have definitely got him in the top 15 at the very least. Certainly a purple would have been top 8 territory. Toon Lure here has P10 secured, but he wants to do better than that with a minute and a half remaining. Team Iris there, you've got the majority white livery, but of course, yeah, the purple makes absolute sense for the Iris flower. So let's see if he wants to start this lap all over again. So he knows he's got pace, but yeah, he's definitely backed off to try again. So one lap to go here for Lure in his attempts to make a huge impression like Evenhoff did last season. Oh, he's hit the curb very heavily there. He's applied it, so that's done for, I'm afraid. Toon will not be able to set another lap time, and he will have to hope that no one else improves. Massimiliano Roboli, I think, it's Thomas Smith. Beg your pardon. He's really on fire here, Alex. Let's see who he gets on.
Yeah, Thomas Smith, personally a good driver from my point of view, from FSR. Purple sector 2, as we see, and going into turn 15, turn 16, final corner coming up. Could he keep it purple? Could he make a big improvement coming from P12 as well? And here we go, going into the start-finish straight. Would it be a good lap? P9. Okay, that's a good improvement there by Thomas Smith. And I think, is he going to try to do another one, or is that going to be it?
He can try again, yes.
Yeah, he can try again.
He will try again, I think. Van Soest is also purple, so there's a lot of times we found in Sector 2. Definitely a power sector now that that all chicane is long gone, down by Clark Corner, turn 9. Oh, a bit of a slide there from Raymond. And yeah, he will have to balance it out nicely if he wants a 123.4, anything that kind of range. It's a 123.7. So it's a gain to 16th, but he will not be in a points paying position to begin this calendar season. Oliver Taras is also purple here. Let's see if he can get an Apex GP car onto the front row. And
Taras is coming a good sector 3 for this.
Yeah, here we go. This
is straight.
Yeah, checker flag, maybe.
Flag. Oh, that's unfortunate.
So close. Yeah, he only found 100th compared to his best time, and that's not enough to take Andrzejewski off from P2, but Decutus will try again. Another example of a purple sector too, so drivers finding it really tricky in the post-DRS era, as we're now on a push-to-pass system for FS1. And he's abandoned the lap, but he doesn't feel like he could have got anything better despite a very strong middle sector. And here's Soppinen for 0-1. So it'll be very important to catch perhaps the likes of Patrick Roshak in P20 and get close to Phil Hauswick in 19th. That'll be very important. So yeah, he is quite far down in sector 1. So he's going to improve. And of course, Tom Lafont, his teammate at 0-1, is 29th. So 0-1, I certainly had high hopes. I know pre-season testing, not quite representative. We had Tom was quick at Fuji, but we do have our qualifying results now, Alex. So I will now present them as follows. So it's a front row lockout for Maltaforce, with Micah getting the better of Andrzejewski here. So 123.0 was more than 0.2 quicker than his teammates. That is a huge statement of intent. And Oliver Taras, using that experience from Lunark last year, he's third. Vin Glenn, one of our star drivers, making his debut, his P4. Giuseppe Saracino, Menno Klant, Yassi Latinen, Frank Hamming, Tomas Smith and Lorenzo De Cutis complete the top 10. So really exciting times for HGP and Team Sheba. And then Tun Lure for Team Iris has 11th place ahead of Kasper Michalak in the Griffon for P12. So Griffon, we didn't get to mention much of them, even though they are on the thumbnail. So Michalak gets the P12. Tylene 13th. Gonzalez Green for LEF Auto Racing in 14th with Reboli P15 there for Pixelate. And then Bore, Van Sust, Flack, Phil Hausvik and Roshak complete our top 20. And there are 10 drivers here. We've Stefano, De Vries, Zubinski, Bintz, Gozowski, Dabrowski, Soppinen, Koenig, Lafont, and then Christensen. So Christensen over 2.5 seconds behind our pole time. So he'll probably have to try and dig a nice, probably conservative race setup so we can perhaps keep it clean into the first few laps here, Alex. So time for the warm up, and yeah, definitely time to think strategy.
Yeah, warm up time to think what tyres to use for the feature race that's coming up very soon. I do notice, some of the new blood in FS1 is near the back, mainly the ones from lower tiers, predominantly Academy. But these are very different cars compared to the Academy tier, and it is going to be something to get used to. But I'm sure it will take a lot of more practice during the season, and maybe season by season, race by race, they'll get more comfortable with the car, and with more setups and more communication with their teammates, engineers, they could get a good running maybe in the later stages of this year.
Yes, indeed. So definitely need to give the newcomers their due. It's going to be tricky enough on your first appearance. Certainly. You can't just judge a person's skills on one particular evening. We'll see how everyone gets on. So I know, Vin Glenn did very well. So optimistic. I'm sure he'll be feeling. Here we are. A look at the Hyperions, and we've half of the Mathiuses represented here, with Zawinski and Dabrowski. So you have to be absolutely sure which Matthews we're talking about at all times. So with Micah on pole, and then Guzovsky, of course, lining up on the grid as well for Nexium pole team. But another thing worth mentioning is our point system. FS1 will have a rather unique sort of feature race point system now, as 30 points will go to the winner of race 1 as opposed to the old 25, and then it's 25 points for second place. So quite the difference for sure. Gain of 5 points for finishing first or second in this feature race, and then third place, instead of 16 points you get 21. So that could be really important. So that's the equivalent of a sprint race win if you get on the podium. And then fourth place is 18, fifth will be 16 points, so that's a gain of 5 as well. Sixth gets 14, so plus 4. Then seventh is 12. Eighth place is 10 as opposed to the symmetrical 8. It's ninth place that gets 8 points instead. Then 10th place is 6. Then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down to 15th, and there's no more fastest lap bonus points. So that's been taken away from us. So usually a bit of fun occasionally to have drivers from outside the top 10 perhaps gambling on strategy and thinking I can get a fast lap bonus and still stay in the top 15. So that's definitely one to think about. So 30 points for a win, Alex. That is such a huge bounty for all these drivers to begin this brand new campaign.
Yeah, 30 points, that's a massive change from the 25, and it's going to be a lot of points to grab, and I think that's what every driver is going to be dreaming for throughout this season. But every race can be different. Every winner could be different. But so far we've got some favourites of Maker in the chat. And we also have others rooting for other drivers here. We've got Alex Gonzalez being rooted for by Trey, if I got the name right. And but yeah, it's very great to see some slight changes. I am loving the cars as well, as always. The cars never fails to surprise me, and liveries, of course. But personally, yeah, this is going to be an amazing season, and I really can't wait to see the start of race 1. I'm very excited. So it's going to be a very exciting start.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the infamy, of course. There are some crashes back in the day that definitely make Albert Park a treacherous event for all our competitors. So down the years, there have been first chicane or first sector crashes, and certainly the 11-12 chicane, very, very dangerous, as we saw in qualifying there with Archino crashing quite heavily, it has to be said. So I definitely want to iron out that problem, making sure he can get on the power out of turn 12 without understeering into the sort of the grassy point there on the outside of the curb. So that's one thing to keep in mind for these drivers if they're going to run the harder compound, for example. You want to make sure they're heated up nicely so you don't burn them out for too long. Of course, yeah, the undercut I think was quite powerful here last year, if I remember. So yeah, definitely something that has to be dealt with as well. So yeah, times are certainly not too important here in the warm-up. You just want to make sure your setup is fully dialed in. You've got everything correct with your fuel loads and certainly your wings. You have to adjust them compared to qualifying. And indeed, push to pass will be brought in for the race only. We don't use it in qualifying now, whereas we of course could use DRS in qualifying. So Pavel has the quickest time on most likely race conditions there, 1:24.5, and Oliver Towers P2. So very quick drivers there at the front of our grid for race 1. Micah is gonna get going on his first lap here. Oh, debris in the middle of the straight there, but Micah just can't really bother lifting off. He just has to keep focusing and getting on with his lap time. He goes wide there.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but notice in the qualifying, most drivers got a purple in Sector 2. Could that be the main weak point for Micah? As you know, I've seen a ton of drivers going purple. I think maybe half the grid, or maybe the top 10 who were in the qualifying. Could that be, a good point to maybe go for the attack for, Micah, or maybe some other drivers who may have difficulties in Sector 2? And as we see, and also we see now Massimiliano Riboli with Pixelate Racing doing some warm-up laps with some, hopefully different tyres and also the race setup. Personal favourite driver as well. Definitely not my former boss when I was with Valet, but he's a very great driver, as well as his teammate as well, Jason Vince. Oh, there goes a spin. Oh dear, there's a bit of a spin there, and he's gone with the rear wing and the front wing into the pits he goes.
Yeah, just looking back to see what happened there. He's heading towards turns 6 and 7, and yeah, he just got too much of the gravel and lost traction on the front right. It just completely banked on him, really, so he loses out big time there. So at least he made the mistake now. He'll remember not to do that again. Yeah, turn 7, 6 and 7. Yeah, is another very tricky corner or pair of corners. So yeah, that's a prime example of what can go wrong with the walls. They can be very, very close here. Of course, you'll see a prime example there out of turn 2. The walls are going to be right on your vicinity there. And then turn 5, of course, if you get that one wrong, you'd be met by the barrier as well. So yeah, you really do have limited reach here around Albert Park. Some places are a bit more spread and wide open, so you will have a bit of breathing room, but The gravel traps are there to catch drivers out as well. So yeah, Menno Klant's currently running the soft tire just to make sure for when it's time to change, or maybe, well, of course, I think they have since scrapped the mandatory soft tire that you qualified on for the top 15. So to check that as well, of course. So yeah, definitely I'm trying to think of the rules that were changed in 2024, and now obviously the ones that come in to this season that are brand new. So on board now with Klant. And yeah, he'll take turn 14 nicely there, heading into the final pair of corners now. He's got it well under control here. And I'm sure Matthew McKinnon will be impressed with his new signing, the veteran Menno Klant. And he comes to a stop before setting the lap, so he actually wasn't bothered to actually put a proper time in for a warm-up. But yeah, we know he's got plenty to offer us today, and you'd love to start this new season thinking, yeah, I can regularly compete for top fives. He was very consistent with points, but of course, yeah, the main highlight of his year last year was the win at Imola. So anything similar for us to commentate on this year would be absolutely stupendous.
Oh yeah, I really can't wait for Indiana and Menno Klant. They're doing a nice little quick 5 red light start there. As warm-up is now coming to an end, and hopefully any minute or any second soon we will be starting the big first race of the season. But the question is, who is going to be taking the big advantage in the feature race, bagging in those 30 points?
Yeah, so yeah, definitely the top 5 all have a reasonable shot here. Strategy could play its part if they're all battling on the new push-to-pass system. So of course, back in the day, definitely DRS trains were commonplace at medium speed tracks. So you'd be stuck in a queue for quite a while. So now it's far more strategic. You have your chances to save up your push-to-pass and pull it all out late on, or else you could try and pull out a gap early into the race and hope that no one can catch you when it's their turn to use the push-to-pass. So yeah, it's definitely a whole new look here for GPV and the FS1 series, knowing that they have to think very differently in your race, because as long as you could keep within 1 second, then DRS was available to you in the specific DRS zones. But now, push to pass, of course, you can use it wherever you see fit, as long as it's not going to put you under any undue danger. That's the main thing. So yeah, definitely it has potential to mix things up a lot and change the strategies we have been accustomed to. So yeah, definitely the variety, I think, could be increased with push to pass. But the other case, if someone is so dominant, there's almost no way to really pair up, perhaps as a peaceful agreement to try and work together with the slipstream and close the gap using that tactic. So yeah, definitely a lot could change in this season as we now get race control ready to prepare the grid, and we'll have our formation lap rundown.
Here we go. First race of the season, the first feature race of the season. And it looks like slowly but steady, everyone is coming up onto the grid. Everyone taking the time, just doing a little final tweaks on their setup and sorting out their tyre strats, and what tyres are they going to be starting with, of course, as well. But you've got a very powerful grid coming up as well. We got we've got Maker starting the formation lap with a very impressive pole position and very good work from the FS2 champion, and overly very impressive for Multiforce GP. And I'd say I would give you the honours for the rundown of the who's where.
Yes, indeed. So our formation lap is underway. We have a full grid of 30 drivers, and we begin with the pole sitter Matthews Micah, the FS2 champion, beating out his teammate Pavel Andrzejewski to the honour, with Oliver Taras third, and then 4 for Vin Glenn. Giuseppe Saracino fifth place, but he felt perhaps he could have done better. Menno Clont in sixth, Latinen seventh, and our other driver with veteran experience is Frank Hamming in eighth. Tomas Smith and Lorenzo Tacutis are the two drivers that complete the top 10. Tin Luer and Kasper Michalak 11th and 12th, with Lucas Tylene paired up with Alexander Gonzalez Green 13th and 14th. Massimiliano Raboli holds on to the final point at 15th. Carl Magnus Bore just outside, looking to hope he can catch his teammate in 16th. And we've Raymond Van Sust, Scott Flack, Owen Phil Hausvik and Patrick Rochak completing the top 20. A nice variety of teams there. Wesley Stefano has the number 27 MS Performance card, 21st, with Sven de Vries, also for LEF Auto Racing on his debut, 22nd. Matthew Sabinski and Janssen Bins, 23rd, 24th. We've our final Matthewses there, 25th, 26th. Gazowski ahead of Dabrowski. We've Juho Sopanen and Philip Koenig, 27th, 28th. Tom Lafont and Marcus Christensen complete our grid there down in the 15th row. Just hoping perhaps for a few lucky breaks and alternate strategies to pay off for them. It is a very long way back to be 29th and 30th, but it's not impossible to be at the back of the grid and come very determinedly through the field and get some points. So yeah, definitely a shock can happen here at Albert Park, Alex. So we're going to line up now on the grid. Micah will be on the right hand side on the reverse angle there, or our right, so it'd be his left, our right. So
Yep.
he has a chance to get a racing line, I suppose, but if he bogs down at the start, he's going to be swallowed up.
And there's Christensen, 30th place, lining up. And I can say from my personal experience, despite starting last, you know, there's always the possible and the impossible. I managed to finish P15 in the Academy race once. I managed to get sprint pole. And here we go, last driver lining up. And here we go with the 5 red lights coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, it's a capacity crowd here at Albert Park. 80 viewers here on our YouTube channel. Our season is due to begin. Formula Sprint 1. It's been a long time waiting, but it's time to race for 2025. Micah gets the launch he needs so he can block his teammate Andrzejewski. Taras has to hold on to the outside line, but he could be in an advantage for turn 2. They hold on. Oh, wiggle there for the HGP of Vin Glen. So he has to slot in behind Saracino. He's lost out, but he has to watch out for Menno Clont, of course. Germany versus Netherlands. Let's see how that gets on. And yeah, great start here for the top 3. They hold position. Saracino will be pleased to get ahead of Vin Glen. Menno Clont, P6, Latina and Hamming, lower, and Tylene complete the top 10. So Tylene has done a spectacular job to get to P10 already.
Yeah, a great start there already for everyone, especially Tylene and P10, and very unfortunate with Saracino having a bit of a rough start still in P4. Look, there's going to be a move between Tylene and Lower around this weird corner here, and looks like he's not going to risk it there. A little bit of a kiss of the gravel, and there's Latinen, P7 fighting it out with Clont. Clont's going to make it through the inside. Oh, gets pushed a bit, and Clont manages to make the move. Impressively done by Menno. Very well done indeed. And it seems he's still trying to, stay on his tail so he can prevent anyone behind him making a move, and also, stick with the slipstream as well, like all the other drivers are trying to do at the same time. And we see Frank Hemming here, just behind Lieutenant. Maybe Lieutenant might be having a bit of difficulties, but we do see, Maker is having a great start so far, being just over a second ahead.
This is absolutely sensational from Micah. Definitely he has the confidence as a champion himself to pull away and give everyone else the shock here that they have to react quickly, or else this will be a procession by the time we get to our pit stops anyway. Of course, anything could still happen, but yeah, definitely we have a great variety with 2 teams new to the roster here in the top 5, with Taras and Apex Grand Prix Colours 3rd, Giuseppe Saracino 4th for Team Shiba. But now the battle is on for the top 10 and below. That's a big wide, I'm afraid, for Thailand. He's missed the corner completely. He will have to give positions back. Now in the old second DRS, yeah, he has to actually give up 2 places. So it's a gain here for Gonzalez Green. And yeah, Lucas Thailand has pressure from behind already. Those tires will still be full of debris and all sorts of uncomfortable gravel. So definitely the Overpower team with Smith have to get on the blower and work together to try and put the Swede under more pressure. So yeah, they've got Smith and they've got Flack together right there, 13th and 14th. Patrick Roszak and Kasper Michalak. The battle for the final point is on, but Michalak, I think, is the driver highest on the field with hard tires. So he wants to win this race by going a bit longer and trying to outsmart these drivers. There's our timing tower to show you. Michalak on hards, Janssen Bintz also on hards. But of course, yeah, Christensen actually takes a gamble at the rear of the field there, going on to softs. So he's got to try and overtake as many cars as possible while he still has the quicker tire, Alex.
Yeah, it seems some people at the back, you know, maybe, you know, second driver, or maybe another driver, maybe just, you know, just being back a bit. Oh, look, this Thomas Smith making a move round the outside. Amazing move there by Thomas Smith, and going up to 12th place. And it looks like I think it might be Thailand struggling with the tyres there, with being on the gravel. I think Scott Flack's going to make a move now. He's going to try and go around the outside as well. But no, he doesn't seem to make it stick as we go into turn 14. He's going to go try around the inside now. He's all over the back of him. No, he's managed to keep it steady despite having a little mild slip. Now we have Rozak behind Flack, and it looks like it's going to be a big fight for P13.
Smith has gone purple in sector 2, so that's a telltale sign. I think he was on push to pass to make that move, and he's completely eviscerated Thailand. He's left him for dead here. So great news there for Overpower. I know they're quite well supported in the chat, so let's see how that fares for them. Tun Lure, his battle with Decusis. I think Decusis has made the gain not too long ago, so it is a gain for Lorenzo. And this is even better for Team Sheba, having 2 cars in very high position so far. They're certainly in position to benefit from reverse grid, the draw coming up after this race. So yeah, absolutely riveting stuff here to begin with. If you're a fan of these new teams to be competing for honours so soon. Thailand now, he's going to try and get revenge. He's done a better job in sector 1 this time, and comparing in sector 2. It's another half a second, so yeah, whatever was causing discomfort to Thailand, he's fighting back as best he can to catch Smith, but it's Scott Flack wanting to give him another dose of Overpower determination here. Let's see if he can do it. Watching for a rear end slide there. He had it reasonably under control. Close to the wall there, Alex. Oh gosh, that could have ended in tears.
Oh yeah, that could have been a really bad crash there, but fortunately enough, managed to survive it. Still pressuring Thailand, and Thailand doesn't know whether to go for the attack or go for the defense now, as he's still close by Thomas Smith, who's 12th place. Is Rosnak going to be, you know, maybe a contender for this train going on here? We don't know, but we have a replay though. It's Marcus Christensen. What's happened here for the debutee of this season? See what's happened. Oh, he's done a big spun, and yeah, that's really unfortunate there.
Front wing damage.
Definitely be really careful at that corner. Very, very careful at the corner. And that's Christensen in the pits getting that front wing repaired.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't take too much longer, because race leaders are going to be on their way soon, and you'll be filled with blue flag warnings for probably over a minute at a time there. So hopefully you can continue with repairs, perhaps get onto the hard tiring, get to the end. That'll be probably his best opportunity. So yeah, it'll be lap 6 coming up now, with Micah in the lead, still a second clear of his teammate Andrzejewski. Oliver Taras another little while back, another second back. And we had this battle for our top 10 and below is definitely the thrill I'm really enjoying at the moment here. Thailand attacking the first curb there with authority. Yellows in sector 1, we'll double check if that is anything to be worried about. Perhaps not, but see now for sure. Looks okay. So out of the pits would be Christensen by now, so yeah, he has to just wait his turn to make sure no one else will be flying by at racing speed. And of course, with Vin Glenn in 5th, he's another 8/10 behind Saracino. Menno Plant kind of on his own here in 6th, so it's a fascinating battle as Frank Hamming will want to battle for position. Yeah, right on cue from Remco in the broadcast direction. We have a battle for 6th place between two of our most experienced drivers in the FS1 class, and comparing times at the minute, they're definitely an advantage to Hamming in sector 2. He gained about 3/10 here, Alex, so these two guys know each other very, very well, and it's going to be very curious to see how they get on now as they begin lap 7.
Yeah, Hamming's still trying to keep up with Clont. I'd say, would they be rivals? I don't know. I don't know the big history of FS1, as is, you know, it's my debut season commentating this year. But so far, he is trying to follow Clont's slipstream here, doing pretty well. Maybe making a move anytime soon. Going into the big right and left hand corners, turns 3 and 4, going into the fast turn 5. And it seems Clont is trying to stay as comfortable as possible and not being pressurized by Hamming. Oh, a bit of a slip there, but still managing to you know, stick it on the circuit there.
Yeah, so my memory would dictate that Menno and Frank have no real rivalry. They're obviously very well averse to each other, but they don't really have that many rivalries to talk about. But yeah, Menno out of 11 and 12, just a little bit loose there. The slap is happening. The pressure has been applied very successfully there by Hamming, so he gets P6 now, and he's got to try and pull clear quickly because Latinen in the second Apex Grand Prix car is going to come in like a freight train here to exploit any potential you know, trouble with the tires, for example. So we will be getting to pit stops in a little while, perhaps another 5 or 6 laps until someone might feel the need to gamble. But definitely now that the queue is changed with Hamming at the top of the line now, and big push there from Decutus in the Shiba. Nice fetching orange and silver and white livery there. So definitely these drivers have been leading the way as an example of a train. But of course the push to pass means that it could be the axe from the likes of Hamming and Clont that could affect things one way or the other. So we do need to see what else could happen as that battle develops. So yeah, strategy could also come into play in a moment. So yeah, at the moment, if you're Lure, you just have to stay in the slipstream of Decutus and maintain those tires, perhaps to give you more flexibility with your pit strategy.
Yeah, it's good to stay patient at the moment with this long train of drivers. I think it's Clont, Latinen, Cutis and Lure who are in this. So I think for Lure, if I was in his shoes, I'd say stay patient. Something could happen. There could be a clash between some cars. They're all on soft tires. Just looking on the overlay there. So no one has any advantages or disadvantages. So I think for those soft tire users, they gotta, you know, be very careful at this point of the race, as it's now lap 9, and it seems everything seems to be pretty good so far. I think Gonzalez Green is joining the pack as well, not so far behind, and you just see just in the horizon Thomas Met. Oh, there seems to be a move from Lure on the left hand side. Oh, we switched to Latinen. Oh, and now we're back to the fight and at hand. It seems, bit of a slip up and going off track, and unfortunately Lorenzo de Cutis from Team Shiba losing a place there, and now is under pressure by Gonzalez Green.
Yeah, so well spotted there, Alex, because Gonzalez Green set a personal best that last lap, so Lorenzo Atarovich Funcic definitely gave the order to push, knowing that there's an opportunity on the line here for the newcomer to the series, Gonzalez Green. Oh yeah, another wobble for Decutis, so he's got to calm it down now. Don't result in a spin or anything like that. I think there was another move for position in the midfield there. Yeah, so Bore has gained 2 positions very quickly there. So Carl Magnus Bore is up to 19th. So that's one to double check what might be happening. So that's more great news for Team Iris, with Lure up to 9th and then Magnus Bore 19th. So yeah, they've got 2 solid options now, but at the moment Lure has the points in his pocket, so he's got to push on. So we'll now look back at a replay here, and this is Phil Hausvik down P28. So this is a side by side with the other LEF, I believe. Oh, he's lost it on his own. Oh gosh! Oh, big avoidance there.
Oh, that was very close, very lucky as well. And I think that's both 100-to-1 drivers spinning, but luckily for Hausvik, not losing any not making any damage for the car, and thankfully able to carry on with the race.
I think it might have been the next Paul team that might have had to take evasive action there with Gazowski. Yeah, very, very well observed there to make the clearance while hitting Phil Hausvik square on there while he was stricken on the chicane there. So thank goodness no one else was badly damaged there. And here's Gonzalez Green, as we were talking about not too long ago. He wants to make a gain for position here on the high line against Smith, and it's not paid off, unfortunately, this go around. And Lucas Tylene is one driver you really want to be given your 100% commitment to when you're in a battle with him. So Alexander should be pushing with everything he's got here to try and make this pass before he has to deal with the KKR for competition. The undulation on the ground there, but the car handled it well. So
I think there's been a DNF in the back.
Yes.
I just saw it. I think it's one of the what team was
Griffon.
it? Yeah, Griffon drivers. There's Koenig. Oh dear. Oh.
With the Hyperion there, just unfortunate that he made that mistake on the corner exit when there was another car there. So Koenig pays the price there, hitting the wall out of turn 13. And he's our first retirement of the new season. So yeah, I'm sure Philip will be frustrated with himself, but it's just really unlucky timing. And now we'll go back to the live action here with Scott Flack, really showing courage there to threaten Tylene for position, but it wasn't to be on that occasion. So yeah, thankfully there was no contact involving those 2 drivers at a very high speed portion of the circuit. So yeah, as Philip Koenig will have to perhaps de-stress a bit as we have a pit stop now. That's one of the Apex GP cars. It's Latinan, ready to make a pit stop here, and I think that's a wise call, Alex, because with the teammate on the podium, I think the undercut is very, very powerful here.
Yes, we do see Tylene, and there is another. I think that it looks like a Iris car. Yep. So that's going to be. Oh, we do have another replay coming up. It's Jansen Bintz for the Pixelate Racing. Now P28. See what happened here. Going off track. Oh, doing a wobble. Oh dear.
No.
Big smash, and another DNF in the feature race. And this time Jansen Bintz is paying the price.
Yeah, another solo incident there, but similar enough to Saracino in qualifying. Yeah, really upsetting to see that. If you lose the back end, you've got to rescue it straight away there, or else, as you saw there, it's going to result in another overcorrection, and the car will just spear into the wall. So 2 DNFs as a result of car damage after an impact with the wall. So yeah, 2 cars out, 28 remain. And with the pit stops coming, we have to really pay attention to see how those guys are going wide for Saracino. So that's another unforced error, and it's allowed Vin Glen to take a spot on the podium as Oliver Taras has pitted. So Apex want to get tire change done early, and Team Iris feel the same way. They must see the data from their teammates to see it's time to pit.
Yeah, I think I saw Saracino hitting the wall on the final corner, causing causing an easy move for Vin Glen, going up to P3. I don't see any damage on the car. I don't see Giuseppe struggling with the car, so I think he's going to carry on at the moment. The steering seems to be fine, and just looking at other drivers, just seeing if there could be anything coming up soon, but. So far, I think Saracino is good to continue, but maybe might need to have a little fix on the car when he does a pit stop.
Yeah, so we're going to have to try and take notice. So the likes of Latinen, a 130.2, of course, not fully representative after the pit stop. But yeah, definitely there were positive signs in the middle sector to show that he can definitely achieve this undercut. So we can see Schlack going long there. He's up to 11th now. Oliver Taras off the podium now is P12. Pavel Andrzejewski has responded to the call from Taras. He pits. We've got Vin Glen in. We've Saracino in. So this looks like the prime time to switch tires just at the 50% mark. Get yourself to the end. Menno Klont is in. Driver Christensen will be pitting again. So he's several laps down at this stage. He wants to keep going, and let's now see where is the Apex GP car. He's behind, so he has beaten Vin Glen, of course, but he has not made a sudden gain, but he is close, so push to pass, I'm sure, on his mind as he set 2 green sectors there. He's on a real charge now, is the Englishman Taras.
Yeah, it seems to be pulling up really well, closer to Andrzejewski. The multi-force GP driver there, but you know, how much P2P does he have left? Would he have enough to be able to attack Andrzejewski? As you know, we still have some drivers ahead due for a pit stop. I think Gonzalez Green is one of them. Meshalak is also another. I think Cutis is going to be another. Oh, there's Latinen making the move. Oh, brilliant move on Klont. Makes it stick around the fast turn there, going into the quick, little quick chicane.
Oh no, it's a spin there for the MG. Huge spin there. The MS, beg your pardon. Raymond Van Smith, I think, has spun it. That's a shocker there for MS performance. Mike taking to the pits as has Frank Hamming, so a lot going on at the same time. So I've got my abbreviations wrong, and Van Soest, as a matter of fact, has crashed it, so he was not the spinner. It was the other MS Performance driver, Stefano. He spun it. So Raymond is out of the race with a crucial damage, the critical damage to the front left suspension. Here's Stefano's spin, so I beg your pardon for the mix-up there. This is the turn 11-12 chicane coming up now, so he would have spun just as those drivers who had pitted early hits the sausage curb, and
that's going to take a lot of people.
Spin.
I think I just saw just before the oh yeah, there is right back. The Cutis is gone. He's out.
Oh no!
I just saw a Team Sheba car there. I just saw a frame before the replay screen came up. The Cutis, here he is, going into the fast chicane here. Turns 11 and 12. See what happens here. Is it another situation? Yes, it is. It's another victim to the exit of turn 12. Very unfortunate. It was so well.
Devastation for half of Team Sheba. They'll still be cheering on for Saracino to try and get some points on their maiden appearance here in FS1. Oh, we've got a lot to report on now. Nishalak's still going long, so he split the multi-force drivers for a temporary moment here. Oliver Taras is still in contention for the podium. Vin Glen ahead of his teammate by 2 seconds or so. So this is a good run after the pit stop for Hamming. Zabinski, of course, he's going long himself. So Hyperion want to win on strategy here. They've got to time it just right. Perhaps lap 18, I think, would be a good call, just to make sure you've got enough time on the softs to push with everything you've got. We're on board with Pavel at the moment. He's got to overtake Michalak. Alternate strategy on board the Griffon team. They know how that trick works. They had Shimon dominating, and they'd Philip Koenig trying longer stints to try and help his teammate. So let's see. Pavel has to make this opportunity count, and Casper, to give him credit, didn't make it too difficult. But now Oliver Taras wants him out of the way pronto, because this is for PE2 on the racetrack.
Struggle there.
Yeah, a little struggle, but it's definitely a case where Taras will want that Griffon out of the way immediately, and it could be crucial for Andrzejewski's race. He's about 2 seconds behind Micah for the lead, so Micah could be on course for leading every single lap that he had been on the circuit for. Not quite a perfect sweep, but Klont now, he wants to dismiss Dabrowski here, and the opportunity is coming up soon with teammate Tylee now behind. So this is so important for KKR Esports. They need to get a double top 10 here as Matthew Zabinski in the other Hyperion pits. So yeah, that is Hyperion for a it will be over for Zabinski for now, but he can push back later in the race. And Taras has dismissed of Michalak. So yeah, that's cost him over a second though. Compare the lap times previously, it's definitely advantage Andrzejewski here, Alex.
Yeah, very, very crucial stuff there. It looks like, Zabinski is making a crucial pit stop as well. And Klont is still, still trying to gain on Dabrowski, hopefully making a move soon. And Taras making a nice move there over Michalak, and going to be charging towards the Malta Force GP drivers. Hopefully, maybe able to catch up, maybe overtake them both. I don't know. Maker still does have a strong lead, over 2 seconds. Very impressive debut for the FS2 champion. We do see Melo Klont here, swerving in and out. Could he make a move? Could he not make a move?
Losing so much time here, Alex. It really is costly for Klont's efforts to finish in that sort of 8, 9 or 10 range. So he will beat P10 for now, but he's got so much pressure to deal with Tyleen for one, Roshak there in the Nexium Paul team in the other. So the optimism after qualifying superbly, it's feeling less rewarding now for Klont, but it's still not over yet. He can try and close the gap lap by lap against Latinen. Roshak really wants to get amongst the KKR team in their home race, with Matthew McKinnon, of course, being an Australian, and he's obviously registered the team under the Australian flag. So these points really do matter early on with his experienced driver from last year and his veteran pickup from Malta Force over the winter break. So yeah, really important for the home team to get a good result here.
Oh yeah, very important indeed, especially in a home race. Personally, for some drivers, some teams are from other countries, but today we're a part of Melbourne in Australia, and I think it's going to be a big favourite for this one team who are wanting to get good results and hopefully having the home advantage as well. Rozak still, still calmly and comfortably behind Thailand. Could Klont and Tyler do a swap? I don't know. It could be an alright call, but they seem to be pretty decent. They're not too close together, and they seem to be making it work.
Yeah, I think for now working together is the better strategy rather than performing a straight swap. We just saw Michalak coming out with pit lane, so he has a chance now to battle for the top 10 with his soft tires. Ed Hunter spotted, of course, the progress of Massimiliano Riboli getting the Pixelate into P13, so that is remarkable stuff so far. And Gonzalez Green,
a bit of a touch
battle there, as of course the cold tires just for a little while longer. So that's an excellent timing here from Gonzalez Green, because Michalak will be straight back in the fight once he gets those tires fully rubbered in and engaged. Carl Magnus Bore, of course, wants to take this final point away, At the moment, yeah, this is a good lap time so far. 30.7 sector 1, so he's so much quicker with the tyres in their peak condition. He wants to go the high side. Risky stuff there if the opponent doesn't want to cooperate. So now I think Casper can now absolutely blast it and try his very best to get a rematch against Alexander Gonzalez Green. So we'll see how that goes, but definitely Bore to get a point on debut for Team Iris would be very satisfying indeed. So yeah, we will definitely be excited to see how 13th Riboli down to 16th Bore, how they all get on in the final 10 laps or so this opening feature race.
Something just piqued my eye in the comments. Something's happened to Smith. Smith is right at the back of the grid now, as well as Japan and DNF'd. I don't know what's happened there. Do we have an idea? It's happened all happened off screen. I'm not entirely sure. But Gonzalez Green though, back into the fight. Gonzalez Green doing pretty well. Oh, we do have a replay. That's great. Let's see what happened here. So going out of the pits just fine, letting some drivers through.
Oh no, he left it as
bad timing.
Yeah. Oh.
No, that's worse.
That would have been Soppinen, I think.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate there for Smith. Very bad timing. Yeah, lost his wing. Got to go back to the drawing board and get a new front wing. That's just really unfortunate, and hopefully Smith can recover very well. In the later stages of this race, and maybe also the sprint race that's coming up next afterwards. But going back to, as we see here, Maker 3.3 seconds ahead now, making a huge gap ahead of his teammate. Very strong indeed. Could this be a double championship for Maker in FS1? What do you think?
It's very soon to call. I know in 2023 when I first started commentary, TOP absolutely swept the board at Imola race 1, but Freilich was my favourite at the time. Unfortunately, he had some mishaps that cost him. So Mayer actually picked up the maximum honours in the end. So yeah, it can all be different. We saw Eoin win race 1 4 times in a row in the spring segment last year. And it was actually Mike Quint who was more consistently able to make appearances each Thursday necessary. So that's how the title race swung. So yeah, it's very early to call, Alex, but on this showing, it's going to terrify the opposition here, knowing this pace is already out the door for FS2 champion. So yeah, that is 4 seconds worth of a lead now. So that's really showing the determination to make this season another memorable one for Matthews Micah. So we'll see how he fares with the final quarter of the race coming. Kasper Michalak, now that those tyres are working, Alex, I think this is his chance to really make a case. You can just see Scott Flack in the distance there. He's got to work really hard now, battling head to head with Riboli. Lap time last time out was a 1:25.06. Now it's a 1:25.6. So yeah, Michalak is definitely very, very fast now, and he can push in a segment that perhaps Riboli is not expecting, as they are on different compounds of tyre now. So strategic move, I think, is on the way here. Grifone want to start the season with some points, and this is a good way of doing it.
Yeah, Michalak going for the attack now on those fresh, soft tyres. Riboli on the new hard tyres, but obviously when it comes to these, Michalak has the big advantage. Hopefully, not wearing them down too much, just to attack Riboli. It's very crucial to manage these tyres home for the rest of the race now after having that one pit stop. It seems he's gone off a bit, but managed to make it stick. Doesn't seem to lose any time or any place. He does have Gonzalez Green behind him, but I don't think it's worrying him too much. But it seems he's going to try and spook Riboli a bit as we go into the later stages of this race, going up to 23 of 29. It's getting very close to the end of the race. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I am as well. And Francesco Bonardi, the team manager for Team Sheep, just says in the chat, Giuseppe is a great name. It's like a cheat, like a sort of cheat code, I suppose, for your parents' friend's son's name to have. So Francesco really cheering on drivers today, knowing this is a great opportunity to get Team Sheep on the map with Giuseppe P6, knowing he knows how to get a podium around here. So P6, not too shabby. And then, of course, the other Team Shiba car was battling for points a bit earlier on. But unfortunately, I think he's out of the race. Yeah, Lorenzo out of the race. So it's all down to Giuseppe now. And yeah, the hopes are definitely high in Francesco's camp. But we'll now try and pay attention to Grifone and see what Michelak can do against Riboli for 13th. Might be just a little too late to make a comeback for Scott Flack at this point. So definitely this is such a crucial pass already in this season to make sure you get off the mark straight away. And this is an extra point. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 11 through 15th. I think it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 points. Oh, ahead of the wall.
Oh no!
Wide. A great save from Gonzalez Green. He got on the brakes just in time to catch the slide before it could have gone fully around. So it's a benefit for Carl Magnus Bore. He gets his chance. There's gravel kicked up. Then
Who is it?
More madness here. That looks like that is actually the goal. Oh, it's all happening here. Michelak out of the points.
Riboli's down as well. I think there must have been some contact between the two.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully we can get a replay later on. But there is a big fight happening over here at the moment. Michelak, still behind Massimiliano Riboli. Still wanna, maybe hungry for vengeance now. We have no idea what happened there. It all happened off screen as we're all fully focused on Gonzalez Green's little incident at the final corner. De Vries, however, going up to P14. Very nicely done for LEF, keeping 14th and 15th. The final place points, very crucial for that team as well.
Yeah, so 1 second it looked like LEF was going to lose everything they had, and then with the incident just in front, it means that actually they've doubled their luck here with Sven De Vries using his know-how down the years, and that's another mistake.
Oh no!
And that's the number 21 there, Marcus Christensen. He's got to be lapped again, so he made another mistake. So it's all unraveled here for Casper. The stress has definitely reached boiling point there. Let's have that replay. So there you go. You can see the LEF auto racing car under duress. So that's Christensen coming out of the pits again, and contact. Ending. So
he mistimed the braking and went into the back of Riboli. Oh, that's really unfortunate there. Oh, there's going to be maybe some words from the stewards coming from Riboli, losing some places there, losing their points place as well. And it looks like, could Marcus have something to play? Oh no, Marcus has just gone by himself, and no, nothing to play there with Michelak or anything. There's Michelak there now.
Yes, so he spun out. We'll see his replay now. We were following him on the live picture, but now he's almost. Oh dear! Again. So
again, behind Riboli. That's so unfortunate for him. I'm guessing he's kicking the curve there, really annoyed with himself. But
don't wreck the car completely. I know it's so frustrating to know the strategy required overtaking these hard tire runners for position, but just try and get us to the end. Don't miss out on these opportunities that may happen. Certainly, we have another slider there. That's the MS Performance. The battle for 20th, Stefano and Matthews Dabrowski. So this car proving a real handful in its current guise here. So it is an exceptional thing to be seeing all these errors, but attrition rate not the worst, to be honest. Just I know Christensen being several laps down to the leader, you'll feel like a retirement to him, but it's certainly early experience. I think maybe he has just pulled in for another stop, or maybe just to call it time here. I'll double check that. Yeah, he's pitting again, so he's just trying to figure out what the matter with the car is. This is defense now from Wesley Stefano. He's going to hold it through turn 6 and 7. And yeah, lots of gravel here, Alex. Just they're really using the full extent of the racing surface and beyond just to extract as much time out as possible. And here we go. Here's the high rise, perhaps push to pass to go on the outside of 11 and 12. And Stefano has to cooperate there. Yeah.
Oh, nicely done. Nice and clean as well. I'm always get worried when it comes to turn 11 and 12. Like when someone makes a move like that, very risky, but very nicely done by the two drivers. Not getting in the way or hitting anyone. I just saw in the comments saying Flack has passed Rozak for 11th place, and yeah, he has. P11, and is 5 seconds ahead. Wow, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
It looks like he's just behind Thailand now. So
Yes,
could he,
of course.
the last 3 laps, could it be potential? I'm not sure. Oh, there's a replay as well.
We'll check the replay for sure now.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we were talking about here, Alex. So
Yes.
what was it? Was
See
it
what
a
race that
mistake?
is. Oh, yep. It's the corner again. Oh dear. Nice recovery though.
Yeah, so that's how you do it. Of course, it's easy to talk when you're in the commentary box and you see mistakes, but when you're actually in the car trying to recover it, it is so difficult just to catch the slide before it's too late. But even if you do catch it, you can still go wayward for you and you hit the wall. So yeah, it can be the slightest bounce that goes your way that keeps you away from the wall.
Yeah. Oh.
Or case is just impossible. The car is too far gone and it's lost. Penultimate lap at this stage now for race leader Micah. We do see Christensen in the pits again.
I think there's a problem with Gonzalez Green. He's losing a lot of time. He's just lost 2 places.
Yeah, now LEF have lost their double point score, and that means Massimo.
Oh, the front wheel's gone.
Yeah, good spot, Alex. Well observed there. He's made a mistake.
Oh, very interesting to see what happened there. It looked like there was a partial yellow in sector 3. Could that be another works of turn 11 and 12 again? It is a very cursed corner, and it seems a lot of drivers have been having pretty bad luck from it. And as we see Gonzalez going down to P22, it's really unfortunate for him.
Yeah,
he was doing so well.
Yeah, so the double score is now out of reach now. So Michalak has a slight chance at redemption, provided he still has tire life now. Race leader, bang on cue there. Final lap for Matthews Micah to win on debut after being the champion of FS2. So this is emulating Ivanoff's achievement of last season, getting pole position and converting it into victory. So a bit of deja vu, but in the case of 2025, it's the team that had to watch and be aghast. The dominance of Ivanoff. Now they've picked up a champion driver who is almost there and ready to deliver a perfect start to Multiforce. This time last year, it was P4 for Mike, P10 for Menno. So now to get a win and a second place is just absolute perfection. It is TOP esports style. If he can just complete the final 5 corners, he will be a well-deserved winner here, Alex. So let's see how he gets on.
Amazing race for Micah there. 3.3 seconds ahead. Very well done. Well, I don't want to curse anything. There's still a few more corners to go as we go around 14, 15 coming up, if I'm right. Yep, 15. And then here comes number 16 round the final corner. Nicely done there by Micah. Winning the feature race. Got the pace, wins the race.
Please. He wants to put up a show here. So 7 years ago was before 2024 was the last time Multiforce were champions. Now they've got a 1-2. They won't want to let go of that trophy for love nor money. It's a perfect start for the Polish duo, and yeah, very, very cheeky to be celebrating like that in formation, but it's all fair. They've worked hard to defeat the likes of Oliver Taras on pace, and they've been well worthy of the 1-2 after the best qualifying show they could have earned. Podium as well for Taras there, as we say. I know I said defeat there, but to say Oliver Taras is defeated is certainly untrue, because P3, he definitely deserved that result. A wonderful start to his campaign. And then HGP, the troubles they've had last year with getting consistent points across their two cars. They've got a very, very important start here with Vin Glenn proving already to be a top tier signing by the owner driver Frank Hamming. So he's got a teammate now that he can compete with in direct competition, and they've secured a P4 and P5 there, Alex, with Saracino, Tunlauer, Yasser Latinen, Klont and Tyling complete the top 10. So yeah, some teams there had both drivers succeed, others were dependent on one driver carrying all those points home. So there's a look at the results. So any quick thoughts before we run through?
I've got to say, amazing race from everyone. It was very exciting to watch. Great first feature race of the season, and now we know the big corner to point out, turns 11 and 12, a killer corner if you get it all wrong, as we lost a lot of good drivers there. A huge congratulations to Micah winning the first race of the season. I really hope Micah and Andrzejewski keeps it up, and maybe a double team championship in a row for Multiforce.
Yeah, imagine that. They don't like leaving FS1 behind, so they want to win this title again, which would be an incredible achievement to go back to back, when certainly most teams would want to go for promotion. But yeah, let's not dawdle. You've got Micah, Andrzejewski and Taras on the podium there. Multiforce, Apex GP. So the new name, promoted from FS2, defeated by the reigning champions who want to stay right as they are. So that's a great dynamic, I have to say. Vin Glenn, P4 ahead of teammate Hamming, complete the top 5. We've Saracino 6, so another strong showing for him, with Tunlauer getting the debut P7 for Team Iris. Then Latinen, Klont and Tylene at the top 10. Completing the points, Scott Flack for Overpower, so another great example for the teams joining the FS1 category for the first time. Nexium Paul team P12 there at Rorschach. De Vries gets 13th for LEF. Bore for Team Iris again in 14th, and Raboli secures 15th and 1 point. It's a heartbreak for Gazowski there, 16th. He couldn't quite get the strategy he wanted to work. Then we have Eoin Hausvik, so the drama that took place in front of him. I thought he would have been stuck down in 23rd, 24th, but he's risen to 17th. Never say die is the mantra, 100 to 1. So that's a great example of it. Then we have Michalak there in 18th. Again, yeah, his strategy didn't work out. Stefano and Dabrowski complete the top 20. I beg your pardon, that's Tom Lafont, actually, P20, so my mistake. Tomas Smith, P21 there. And yeah, we have a bit of a double example on screen there. So Michalak, P22 on race view. So we'll ignore that. Gonzalez Green, 23rd with the late crash that cost him his front wing. Matthew Sabinski, 24th, lap down. And Marcus Christensen on debut, several laps down, I'm afraid, but at least he kept going to the very end. So 100% finishing rate for 100 to 1 this time, as opposed to 0. So that's good improvement for them. Retirements were Juho Soppinen, Lorenzo DeCutis, Raymond Van Soest, Janssen Bintz, and Philip Koenig. So yeah, a heck of a first show here, but plenty more to come, Alex. So it's been all go since 7 GMT. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be back for the reverse grid sprint race. So don't go far. And welcome back, everybody. Do you want to hear something exciting that the chat is bound to enjoy? Menno Clont on pole. Yeah, it is true. He's won the reverse grid draw for KKR on his debut. And of course, we had the absolute whopper of a race last year. I'm sure it's probably annoying him a little bit that we refer to Imola so much when he's done so many great things over the years. But it's his chance to win on debut or get a podium for KKR in his first run here, Alex. So do you think it's possible?
You know, you gotta stay consistent. Gotta be very, you know, gotta keep the pace up. I'm sure everyone's favorite driver, Menno, could win the race. You know, with Micah starting with the reverse grid, starting P9 if I'm correct, and looks like everyone in the chat is going crazy now with Menno on pole. Everyone there, very surprised, very happy. I think it's you know, good news, ding dong. Menno's on pole.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like saying Polska Grom, one of our second great catchphrases, of course, in the league. Polska Grom. If you say that, you're going to get plenty of responses, but everybody should be pleased, I'm sure, to see another Menno Clont reverse grid pole. Latinen should be P2, I think, in the draw. So Tylene very unlucky to miss out. He was so close, but yeah, Menno's number came up, and that's his chance now to try and secure a victory for KKR on home soil. So absolutely riveting plot lines to bring you in just a moment. Here we go, cars forming on the grid as we speak. So race control have to make sure everybody is ready to go all over again, and I'm hopeful, beg your pardon there, hopeful everyone's back for another attempt. No commitments need to take them away for the sprint, 19 laps in all, so yeah, definitely the preference to go long. I think, yeah, you will need to try and zero stop it. I'll compare it to last year in just a moment. Pull up the results as drivers pull away for our formation lap. So Menno Clont would be well versed by this by now. He leads us away with Yasalatin in P2, and then we've Tin Lure on debut for Team Iris up in third, and Saracino, he's a fourth, so he's got a chance of a podium here. And then we've got the HJP duo. Frank Hamming now gets to lead his teammate Glenn. Oliver Taras seventh, ahead of Pavel Andrzejewski, with race one winner Matthews Micah all the way down in ninth this time. Tylene just missing out, and joining his teammate there is P10. And we've Scott Flack and Patrick Roshak 11th and 12th. Sven De Vries and Carl Magnus Bore 13th and 14th. Massimiliano Raboli will try and defend his 1 point from the feature race ahead of Mateusz Kozowski. Owen Kvilhausvik is 17th there, working hard in race one to gain those positions. Wesley Stefano, Matthews Dabrowski and Tom Lafont complete our top 20. Then we've Smith, Michalak, Gonzalez Green and Zubinski 21st through 24th. And the final drivers coming up here, we've Christensen there, struggling in race one, but he's ready to try again ahead of Juho Soppinen, Lorenzo De Cutis, Raymond Van Sust, 25th through 28th. And then on the back row, we've Janssen Bintz and Philip Koenig, two drivers that crashed out fairly early on, Alex, but you never know. They're willing to try again, and hopefully on pure racecraft they can get some positions.
Yeah, like I said, that's the start of race one. Despite starting from the back, you know, you could get lucky. There could be carnage in turn one. I mean, in the first race, it was pretty clean. There wasn't no incidents or anything from what we all saw. But you know, with those fast drivers at the back, they could get really lucky. It could be a last to first challenge for those drivers, if we think about it. And here we go. We got Menno lining up, and all the rest of the drivers coming up as well. And here comes the final cavalry, getting ready for the sprint race.
Yeah, so definitely the courage to fight for your positions. You've got to prove it. It's not going to be all down to the strategy necessarily. Pit stops were not needed in last year's sprint for everybody who finished in the points. So let's see who can win it on our pure pace as the lights come on for the second time this evening. And they're away. Let's see who's got the opportunity to lead in turn one. It is actually still Menno Clont. Menno Clont will lead them into turn one. Latinen following right behind in the Apex Grand Prix car. And Lure trying everything he's got to hold on. He's down a few positions and the car's waving around the place. So Saracino on the podium for Team Sheba already. Frank Hamming has gotten himself up to P4. Taras holding off as best he can. There's Tylene, a hot starter for sure. He wants to get 7th place. And Taras just has to hold the inside on the Apex cars, perhaps in the background a bit loose. Yellow flags are waving, but we're back to green for these drivers. Taras holding on, he's going to push Tylene wide. Tylene's going to lose momentum in the wall.
No!
I think that was Roshak. Was it Patrick Roshak in the wall?
Oh, I didn't really see what happened there. It was a bright yellow car. It could be the Jaworski or Roshak, but I think it's going to be Roshak indeed. Very unfortunate there. Is he still racing? I can't fully see that.
Down the back, no.
No, is he gone? Latinen going for the lead. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. And it looks like Menno Clont still has the lead, still retains it. Saracino trying to take the advantage. Oh, he's trying it. Going around the inside there, still makes it stick Clont, and perfect defending there. And look for 3rd place, Saracino defending behind Frank Hemming. And it looks like we'll also have is that a Multiforce car P5 there. It seems to be absolutely crazy at the end of lap 1. That's crazy, absolutely crazy.
That's a great way to put it here, Alex. It's just nuts because we got our leader still hanging on, but Latinen tried twice. Normally, you wouldn't dare overtake into turn 15, but he tried it after an attempt into 13. Saracino's going to understeer quite close to Doom there. Frank Hamming's going to get him though. This is Frank Hamming up to P4. So Pavel Andriuski, I think he's on softs. He's gambling on a one-stopper here, or else conserving those softs to the very end. So he's so far so good. He's on the softs and he has a podium place. So, but 2 more drivers to catch. His gamble, yes, exactly. There it is on the timing tower. Andriuski thinks he can win this race by either conserving the softs to the end or stopping in the halfway stage. So it's just unbelievable stuff here. It's all guns blazing. Saracino defending now, and there's none other than Micah on the high line trying to make passes himself, and he's through on Lure. Lure has to concede position, and he's got to fight back as best he can because Tylene, who we saw fighting for everything, he's now recovered to P8, and he's got to push now with everything he's got. So yeah, Menno Clont, a narrow lead, but half a second is still workable here. Michalak out of the race as well, so desperate look for next Jim Paul team, and again for Griffon, losing out on 2 of their 4 potential entries this evening. So there's a look at the chaos with slamming into the wall. You can see kicking up sparks and right in the mixer with all those other cars, and so close.
A very, very hard hit there by Roszak. Yeah, very thankfully though, I don't think anyone else managed to be in that big hard hit carnage there. We do have Vin Glenn.
Oh, we got hit in the back.
Oh dear. Oh, he's just spun off. Very unfortunate. I don't know who that was that spun him there.
One of the XGP cars, I didn't see it for sure.
Oh, we got another Nexium car on the replay. See what happens here. Oh no, it's going to be turn 11, 12. Is it the, oh no, it's not the turn of death, but he just seems to must have gone wrong with the braking and unfortunately just spun it at the entry of turn 11, but managed it. Oh, there's another car right there. There's Oliver Taras is 28th. It seems to be missing the front wing.
He hit the car in the back, so that's what cost him. So yeah, it would have hit Vin Glenn in the back, so I think that's what happened, Alex. So yeah, that explains.
I see. Absolute madhouse. Of a sprint race. This is
Pavel second. Yeah, we've got Pavel second. I think Janssen Bintz gained places. He's 14th, so we'll investigate that in a moment as the battle for the lead is on. And Clont has to consider can he defend for the amount of time necessary that will keep Pavel make sure he can't get a possible pit stop advantage, or else being able to conserve the tires long enough to win the race. So the strategy is got to be actually a case of blocking Andrzejewski for the right amount of time, not too long that Menno burns up his tires, but not too short that Andrzejewski can run away with this first third of the sprint race. So let's see how these two drivers react. So this gamble from Pavel here, knowing that he's already behind in the championship against his teammate, he's thought, I'm going to go for it, and at the moment it's paying off with Thomas Smith there gaining 11 positions from qualifying, and that is remarkable for Overpower to have P9 and P10. Huge gains all around there. And Janssen Bintz, of course, there 15 positions gained. Carl Magnus Bore, I think, has gained a position himself, so he's actually -1, but he's back in the points here, Alex.
Yeah, it seems that Mike has gone down 10 places, done P19. Have we seen what happened to him yet? There's so much going on. I couldn't see what was going on. I think this is the replay.
Through here.
There's Micah now, just behind Saracino. Oh, a bit of a touch there at this. Oh dear. That's going to be maybe some words from the stewards there. There was a bit of a touch at the entry of turn 11, and seems to have lost it after that. I think hopefully Mike is going to be trying to retain those positions as soon as he can. He don't want to be held up by those back markers for sure, especially winning the crucial feature race as he makes a nice easy move over Van Zost, and there's Andrzejewski behind Klont, still wanting to make a move, hopefully soon. Better soon than later, as they say. Am I right?
Yeah. Better now than never, or better late than never. Yes. So we've got that one spot on now. Turn lower. He's got pressure from those Overpower cars. I think Sven de Vries up to 6. That's very good from the experienced head there, in the lead of the LEF Auto Racing team now. So he's got the points for them at the moment, with Gonzalez Green down in 16th, just shy of getting a solitary point. Times comparing between those leaders, it's 125.8 across the board. So yeah, at the moment I think Pavel has to conserve the tires, so maybe Menno hasn't got all guns blazing defense. He can just drive normally, so Pavel, I think, has to conserve the tires in this portion if he can't overtake the KK or esports car straight away, and then perhaps go for it by lap 10 if he's done enough conserving. But yeah, nevertheless, yeah, it will be Latinen on the podium for Apex, so this will be a remarkable debut for them to get Taras in race 1 and Latinen in race 2 on the podium. Frank Hamming will have plenty to say about that, as will Saracino, wanting to repeat his success from this time last year. Now Hyperion, we get to actually talk about Hyperion. They're 11th and 12th. It's Dabrowski leading Zabinski. So this is much better from Hyperion, more like their expected form. And here we go, as a matter of fact, Pavel sees an opportunity, and it's not paid off. It's close, but it does open the door for these 3 other competitors behind to battle in the shadow of this race lead. And Pavel, I'm sure, is on push to pass. He's going to give it everything he's got. He's got to outbrake Menno Klont for the lead, and he will. So there we go. He's finally got the opening, and he can now decide the fate of his tires. Does he want to pull well clear, or does he want to conserve and let these 4 others battle behind Alex?
Yeah, it seems that Klont is now kind of struggling with Latinen now, very close behind, as well as Hamming and Saracino as well. And, you know, with a big train for P2 coming up, there was a bit of a yellow flag there. I have no idea. Yep, there it is. Sector 1, something's happened. But anyways, losing my train of thought, literally. Frank Hemming is going to maybe try and overtake Latinen. He's going to try and go around the outside in this fast corner here. Oh, but I think, could it be possible with Klont in the way? Is it going to happen? It's going to be... Oh, no, there's a spin! No. Oh, no, that is not what I wanted to happen in that corner. Oh, Latinen was a big hope to be in the podium, especially for Apex GP. Oh, that you got to be really careful in that corner. There's going to be a lot of talk in the stewards tonight, especially after sprint race. This is. Oh no, I think that's now six to seven drivers gone now.
Yeah, it's the same attrition rate as the race one. Yeah, definitely more hardcore driving from our competitors today, and yeah, it's definitely risk or demise here. So yeah, they know how important it is just to have a platform to work heading into the Turkish Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time. So this is an instant replay of the collision, and yeah, it's just wheel contact. Nothing Latinen could have done there. Hamming was 100% committed, and it just resulted in the contact that cost Latinen his race this evening. So the new look podium is Frank Hamming in third place now, but he could potentially be docked. We'll have to hear from race control over the coming days to see what they think about that, with Saracino in line to battle for the podium position now. Sven de Vries gaining after that distraction for those drivers who were going for third place. So we'll keep an eye out on de Vries' progress. He's about level with the other guys just in front of him so far. Tun Lure, personal best for him last time around at 125.4, just a little bit behind Andrzejewski's best, of course, on different compounded tires. So yeah, still a lot to happen, and the halfway point is still yet to come. It's close, but not quite there yet, Alex.
Yeah, I think I was looking down the table. The Cutis was quite close to Gazowski making the move. I think it was like 0.091, but it's now extended to a half a second now. I don't know. Must have made a little mistake maybe after making a move, failed overtake, but it's still still behind Gazowski there. Here's the start of Menoclon. Oh no, there he is. Oh, that's his big spin there. Oh, there's another one. Oh my goodness, it's a crazy sprint race here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one. In one replay, 3 spins. That's insane. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
this is one heck of a sprint race. This is.
That was Carl Magnus Bore, who was stranded in the middle of the road there, and that's a result of losing rear end traction on the AstroTurf. And there you go, you can see he's right on the racing line.
Just the wrong time.
In for the 100-1 there, costing him badly there. So I think Christensen was involved there, so that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it seems they were just there at the wrong place, wrong time. Just caught Bore there. There's another yellow in sector 3. Nothing seems to be there. Frank Hamming's very, very close to Menoclon. Still, and I think Andrzejewski still nurturing those soft tyres to make it all the way to the end as we hit lap 10 now, out of 19 of the race. And there's still a bit of pressure on Menoclon with Hamming and Saracino behind him. Dylan's has a DNF. I just realised now he's going down the line. See the replay here and see what happened. Oh no, there's Micah. Did something happen to Micah? No. See what happened. Oh, closed the gap on the Pixelate car. I can't see who that was.
Could have been Raboli.
Yeah, it could have been Raboli. Just heard it's Vince. Going down the P17. There's Filing. See why he's DNF'd here. See, it's going into the final turn 14, going into turn 15. Mistimed the braking there, going into the gravel, ending the race. Really unfortunate. It's not easy being behind some slower cars, or as people would say, back markers. Don't want to be too offensive to the slower drivers there, and you got to be patient. You got to be, otherwise if you're too desperate and you make the move at the wrong time, your race is going to be gone, or you're going to lose a lot of places.
Yeah, and I think I just saw again for Janssen Bintz, he's up a position. Gazowski, I think, as well. So it means Gonzalez Green has lost 2 positions quickly there. So LEF want to make sure they get both cars in the points here to give both the competitors a certainly renewed focus to make sure they're ready and they're happy after today's work. And Gonzalo Green actually pits, so he's lost confidence in his car. Perhaps the tires are completely shot for him, so he will not get points unless he really knuckles down and works extremely hard and hopes for other things to happen in front of him. So hopefully it was a planned stop and they're ready to adjust the strategy for Alexander. He's now reached there in 20th for the moment. Raymond Van Soest, a lap down, won't catch him, I would reckon. So at the moment it's up to Sven de Vries. He's got the glittering CV that I mentioned with Ed Hunter's script for the race, for the preview for the season ahead. So Sven, if he can start winning races again after his years away, it would be absolutely outstanding. But P5 is a great platform so far. And Pavel Andrzejewski in the lead, 4 seconds clear of Klont as we're on board with third place Frank Hamming. We can compare lap time for the podium sitters right now. Pavel has gained another half second on Klont. It's a 1/10 gain for Hamming, so still not enough for Hamming to get himself right in the title mix at the minute. He wants to make sure he gets a podium to back up his result behind his teammate Vin Glenn back in race 1. So yeah, this is definitely a good showing if he wants to be a season-long contender for honours. And Klont here wanting to give the hometown representatives, the Queensland team, KKR Esports, an emotional home podium to back up the hopes that they had from last year, where they won several great races like China. Of course, that was probably their finest hour, in my opinion. So let's see now, Alex, if this move is forthcoming.
I think Hamming was going to try and play it safe there. Oh, a bit of a little scrabble there. Oh, he's going to try and make the move around the outside of Klont here. Going to go up to second place. He's going to make it stick. He's still ahead just by time, and he's done it. He's fully done it. Frank Hamming P2. Nicely done around the outside as well. Very impressive.
Without a doubt. And Turn Lower. Is he out of the points? What's happened to Turn Lower? Something's gone horribly wrong.
Going down. I think something's happened. There was a yellow in sector 3.
Yeah, something very bad has happened there to Lure. He would have been on for great points for Team Iris. And now he's just vanished without a front wing. Yeah, that could be an 11 and 12. Danger corner situation yet again. So
corners of death again. Another victim. Let's see what's happened here.
He's behind De Vries as normal. What you'd expect. Oh no! Actually, yeah, I thought he could have
nearly saved it. Nearly saved it. That's really unfortunate. Again, another victim. Oh,
Smith. Oh.
There seems to be another one from Micah as well. Is this another same corner?
Yeah.
What's he done? Oh, he's gone off track, but a bit of a jump as well.
Yeah.
But luckily, I don't think there's any damage done from after that little jump, after lawn mowing the grass of the Albert Park circuit.
Yeah, well, this is definitely a prime example of why race 2 requires a different skill set to race 1, because Micah, from a dominant victory, 30 points in the bag, he's got 1 at the minute. We've got 0-1 Esports, a chance to show Tom Lafont in action with Lorenzo De Cutis, and there we go, probably wisely thinking my battle is more with Lafont for that position, whereas Micah, when he's on the limit, he is absolutely he's so rapid, he's on the cusp of being so quick, but yeah, it's just not been his sprint race today. But yeah, any point will do here, because Andrzejewski is in line for a great haul. If he can keep these tires alive, they would have been pitting by now for the halfway point, Alex, in race 1. So he's got to make sure they can go all the way to the end, and it would be a mental pick, definitely a mental game for Andrzejewski to triumph in, because he's proven that the soft tires are actually very durable.
The time seems to be going down on the gap between Andrzejewski and Hamming. Sorry to disrupt you there, but it was going down a bit. I don't know what happened there, but could it be the warm tires playing its tricks now? Hamming's gone up from, I think, an 8-second gap, now down to 5.5. A huge gap closure there. I think Andrzejewski's must have used all of his tyres to have that gap. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, maybe it's still about 5 seconds. Maybe it's coming down a bit this lap.
Yeah.
But, that was my interpretation. He was never really that far ahead in my memory bank. But yeah, at this stage, Pavel can lose probably 3/4 of a second a lap, but he can still win the race. So he's actually pulling clear again. So I'm not exactly sure it's going to be so close. Yeah, he's like to come back down again. So yeah, perhaps the straight line speed is what's helping the number 11 Malta Force car on its way. And yeah, definitely it is a legacy certainly to be driving the champion's number. Departing champion Mike Quint vacated the number 11 on his way up to SL2, and yeah, definitely to win the race on your first week driving that champion car. It's definitely a great confidence boost after finishing second in race 1. But now for the podium, Sarcino bring it back after a successful visit here last season. Menno Clant, he's got to defend now. This is a pure head-to-head battle after losing out to Hamming a little while ago. This is exactly what lost him the position. Has Giuseppe been studying the weakness perhaps in that KKR esports car? It didn't quite work out there, Alex, but plenty more time. You can pick 4 or 5 different overtaking points, I think, over the next 5 laps, and he can definitely challenge for the podium. A bit of a tank stopper there, as Menno does pull out a bit of a gap again.
Yeah, Saracino does still have time left, going up to now 16 of 19, still closing on Clont, still trying to maybe find that gap to be comfortably in P3. Saracino did have a bit of a rough race in the feature, if I'm correct, and it seems Clont went a bit wide there. So has oh no, it's all fine. Like Menno's still made a little bit of a gap. As we go into the next corner here, and no mistakes there. A little touch of the gravel there, but everything seems to be in check for both drivers. Sancho maybe using the push to pass to maybe gain that advantage. Maybe at this corner it could end Grizzly if he makes a move. Yeah, 11 and 12. He's going to go around the outside. Not going to risk it. Thank God for that. We don't end up especially in this corner. We don't want to end up with more carnage. Especially how far this race has been going on at the moment.
Yeah, I know. Certainly the action replay that cost Latinen so dearly. That'll be one not to repeat again. Certainly Saracino would have been watching that battle. And he knows exactly what not to do there. It's not ideal unless you've already got 2 wheels in front at the very least, which would compel the car on the inside to brake a bit earlier to avoid contact. But now there was none other than Lorenzo Itarovic Funcic in the chat praying to be fed well with a podium, and Sven de Vries is in play again. He's right in this fight. He's gained about a second on Saracino that last lap, and yeah, he's absolutely been able to concentrate on his own race for now. Oh, wobble, as a matter of fact there. So thankfully not a commentator's curse, but De Vries had time to focus on his own race, get the tyres in position to battle, and the number 69 could be a podium sitter after all, but he's got to be absolutely spot on these remaining 3 laps, Alex, and it needs to start perhaps at turn 13. From there on in, he's got to be in play, or else it will be up to Saracino here to take it away from Clont.
Yeah, De Vries is doing very well, staying consistent as well, and not bothering about what's happening ahead, and just concentrating on what he's doing. As we see Saracino trying to make a move around the outside, but Menno Clont seems to... there's a contact!
No way!
To escape the carnage. I think there was a bit of contact. Menno Clont's lost the front wing. Oh, that's really unfortunate. I'm just looking on the little replay on my other screen that there seems to be a bit of contact between Saracino and Menno Clont. That's really unfortunate there. De Vries now hoping to make that advantage on Saracino. Oh dear, that was devastating. Absolutely devastating.
Yeah, let's look. So the contact happens. Oh, maybe no, there wasn't actually any contact. Clant just lost the rear end by himself. And remarkably there, De Vries just had a nudge. So actually, no, on closer inspection, I do withdraw that. It was so close, but there was no actual contact. Clant on putting the power back down actually lost control. So Saracino, innocent party there. He just did his best. It's so close, just the slightest gap between the two cars, but Clant unfortunately lost it on his own. So Saracino is on the podium now. Clant has to just fume at himself there, just how the car behaved itself there. So now it's Sven De Vries. He's now in play. This third place that no one can seem to hold on to today. It's up to Saracino and the aforementioned turn 13. This is where he's got to be in play. At the moment, it's about equal. But Pavel, oh no, he's wide. He's wide. Oh, okay, now I'm cursing people, so enough is enough. Pavel Andrzejewski will start the final lap very soon indeed. There we go, lap 19 is on the board, so 1 to go. And this could be a Malta forced absolute domination with the 1-2 in qualifying, the 1-2 in race 1, and a victory for Pavel Andrzejewski to go on top of the championship after all. So Micah has to do whatever he can here to ease the gap. He's probably got to finish perhaps 7th, I think, to really stand any chance of getting anywhere representative and stay with Hamming, for example. So we'll certainly talk about the championship when we meet again in 2 weeks. We'll have all the numbers crunched for you. But of course, Hamming, will he be punished? Will he lose a bit of time after the collision with Clant? That is something we'll find out in the coming days. But yeah, the battle for 12th position there, it's over for now. But Tom Lafont on debut could get 0-1 Esports off the mark, and they get the advantage over their brothers in the calculator, 100-1. So yeah, advantage to 0-1 as things stand. There's a look at the positions gained and lost there, Alex. It is +7 there for Andrzejewski. The gamble is almost certain to pay off now. +16 for Thomas Smith to finish P5 here, supported by his teammate Scott Flack, and then Zabinski +16 as well. So absolutely brilliant. And Janssen Bintz, of course, P18, so proves never give up.
Flag
Across the line, Pavel Andrzejewski has won it. He's completed the sweep here for Malta Ford, and he will leave as championship leader in the end. And Frank Hamming gets a podium to really show he's in with the contest. And Saracino is a podium sitter again. So Ed Hunter's tip has been successful. Saracino, very, very impressive there. And across the line come the drivers in the top 10. We can see there is Gazowski, so better look for him and Nexium Paul team to get a 10th place. Just behind Raboli and the pair of Matthewses driving for Hyperion. So Dabrowski beat Zabinski. And there's Menno Clant over the line. Devastation, I'm sure, to miss out on points of any kind after the reverse grid draw fell his way. But it was a fastest lap just to show he had the car underneath him to do well. It's just really unfortunate he lost the back end there, Alex. So yeah,
it was
up and down the grid.
It was really unfortunate for Clant. There's Andrzejewski doing a nice little spin around Albert Park. A big point out for who's the team there? Hyperion and Overpower. Overpower being 5th and 6th, and Hyperion being 7th and 8th. A big win for them in this sprint race. And Sven going up to P4, almost tasting that podium, and a great race for everyone. A very carnage start, early stage of the race as well. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, mayhem here in race 2, but through it all, the gamble worked. Pavel Andrzejewski on the soft compound tires was able to cut through the field from his 8th place all the way to the victory. What a drive that was. Frank Hamming, we know how exciting he is in race 2. Brings the very best. And he has the car underneath him, P2, to get his season rolling. Giuseppe Saracino and Team Shiba over the moon there to get a podium for the fledgling team there on debut. And Sven De Vries not quite able to get the dream start there for LEF Auto Racing, but a 4th place shows he's still got it, and he'll be raring to go once again, I'm sure, after years away. Overpower, as you said, Alex, 5th and 6th. That is absolutely remarkable to cut through the grid like they did as well. And Hyperion also getting their chance to shine, 7th and 8th, going through all the destruction for the other teams. And then Massimiliano Raboli and Mateusz Gazowski will be very pleased with their 9th and 10th respectively. Wrapping up the points paying positions, we've Janssen Bint, Matthews Micah there, so not quite able to do the double himself. P12 in the end, so damage limitation. Tom Lafont, there we go, much better for him in 13th, but his teammate I think was very unlucky to crash out in this race. Lorenzo De Cutis there for Team Shiba as well, so what a start it's proven to be for them. And then Carl Magnus Bore got the consolation prize there for Team Iris in 15th. Eoin Kvilhausvik, again so close but not to be. He will leave empty-handed today. Menno Klont with the spin that resulted for him at turn 13. He gets nothing. Wesley Stefano, Alexander Gonzalez Green, and Raymond Van Sust are the top 20. Marcus Christensen was able to make it to the line there, but a few laps down himself. And there we go. There's the repair bill for Tun Luer, Lucas Tyleen, Yassi Latinen, Juho Soppinen, Vin Glenn, Philip Koenig, Oliver Taras, Kasper Michalak, and Patrick Roshak, all DNFing here in our sprint race. So, yeah, the lap 1 and beyond, it was just so hectic. And that's the practice can go out the window sometimes, just the mayhem. It's so unexpected. But there you go. It's just want to dust yourself down and move on, as there are plenty more races to go. A disappointing day today. You can definitely make up for it in a future event. Alex, so any thoughts before we begin our interview segment?
I gotta say, it's been an amazing first 2 races of the season. Well done to all the races who were able to make it. I think it was for the sprint race, a race to forget for Apex GP. And I think KKR as well. It was no one's fault at all, unless they had a few incidents here and there. Turn 12 though, big killer for most of the drivers. I think most of these people here are DNF'd were unfortunate victims to that corner, as well as some being spun there as well. Micah being the big one as well, as being spun by I think it was Saracino earlier in the race in the sprint.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, amazing race, and let's get down to the interviews.
Yeah, and a lot of eager names have come forward already, but it only makes sense to bring forth our Malta Force GP, the all-new, all-dominant Mateusz Micah and Pavel Andrzejewski. So our 2 winners today, let's bring them in first as a pair.
Pavel was in another level, another dimension.
Hi Mateusz, hi Pavel. Congratulations to you both. We'll start with our feature race winner, Mateusz. So how did you feel now that you've taken the leap from FS2 to FS1?
Hello everyone. Yeah, very good result in race 1. A little bit of shame about this race 2, but Pavel did amazing job. So even with this bad result from my side, I'm very happy that Malta, we can say, dominate this round. Yeah.
Yeah, dominate, absolutely true.
Indeed.
With Viktor Ivanov last year, he came up as a debutant in FS1 and got the race 1 win. So you're in a fine fettle so far, Matthews. But let's talk about qualifying quickly, because you were actually 0.2, just above 0.2 quicker than Pavel. So that doesn't happen very often. So how on earth did you pull that one out?
I think it was a golden lap. It was my first attempt in a quali, and it came off. Even when I was trying to improve that lap time after the first run, I cannot get close to that result. So it was pure golden lap. after the interview, I think I'm gonna go and watch it because I think every sector, every corner was in time.
Very good. Now, Pavel, it's time to talk about race 2. So, why did you think the soft tire strategy would work? Like, you certainly made it work, but why did you think it could benefit you?
Well, there are two factors actually, because in the first race we felt very comfortable with Mateusz. I felt comfortable as well in the second place, just nursing those hards, and I saw that they were is little to none, so why can't I try racing with softs the same distance in the race 2 as I did in race 1 with hards. It paid off definitely. Of course, there is still, I think that the grid doesn't know this car well, so this huge time spent on learning the car, learning how it works, how the tires have a little bit evolved during this season holidays. This gave us a lot of confidence, a lot of knowledge, and it has paid off in the best way possible.
Yeah, indeed. So, certainly the battle with Menno Clont for the victory there. Once you passed him, it was over. There was a bit of carnage behind as well. So, did you see anything? Or was it just a case of the lap 1, you knew what to do and you got through safely?
At the moment, I felt that Menno forgot who is he fighting with, because we were practicing closely during this preseason period. We have had long conversations about strategy, etc. So I thought that he will give me some easy time, but I was kind of amazed how long and how harsh he defended against me. But unfortunately for him, the tire difference has made it all, and he had to give the position to me. And from this point, it was just nursing those tires towards the end of the race and keeping this gap that I've managed to do in until the midway of the race. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to feel that this hard work has paid off. We knew in pre-season testing that we are quite competitive. I knew that the setup that we have prepared was really good, because Lucas Styling did the best time in Fuji, so it was only the matter of tweaking the things and getting up to knowledge with how the car performs. And you know, I couldn't have imagined better start to the season than winning the race 2, getting actually 1-2 in first race. So for me, it counts as a win as well. And I think I'm leading the championship right now. So lovely,
100%.
simply lovely.
Yeah, indeed. Alex, do you have any questions for our two drivers?
Yeah, a question for Pavel. I got to ask, an impressive sprint race, first of all, and congrats on the win for the both of you. Micah, for you on the feature race. But Pavel, I've got to ask, how did you manage to manage those soft tires throughout the entire race?
Well, that's the thing to nurse them. I won't tell all the tweaks and all the knowledge that I possessed during this half season last year and during this preseason, but you know, getting very softly and touchy out of corners helps very greatly with rear end traction, and my rear wear was little to none. So this was one of the factors, but not all the factors, because, you know, I think that our rivals are now sitting and listening, and they are of course will be sitting to the desk and doing their homework, because I can't imagine us having such great advantage over them during the whole course. I think that they will do the homework, and on next round in 2 weeks, it won't be as easy as it seemed to be today.
Thank you very much. And Matheus, is that how you pronounce it correct?
Matthews.
Yeah, what?
Matheus, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I said it right. I know it's too early to call, with it being the first race of the season. But after getting those crucial points in the feature race, do you think you have what it takes to maybe be a contender to be the champion of FS1 this year?
Yeah, in the standings, I will be in like P5, and you have another guy here, Pavel, who wins this round. So I think this question is coming for him. Okay, but jokes aside, yeah, I feel very confident after that round. But the season is very long. It's a very good sign because my season starts, I think, badly in the previous. So it's a good sign, but the season is long. We have still 15 rounds to race, and everything can happen. We saw that on the race 2 from my perspective, where I was in P5 and lost the pressure, and I lost it also. It's hard to guess. I feel confident, but we will see.
I think that I should turn the things around and say that Mateusz is the main contender out of us two to be the champion, and I should consider myself a dark horse, considering how talented Mateusz is, how quickly he learned this car. How
You can say that. You can say that. You win your second race starting from P8, managing soft tires. I will not do that. I will not do that long stint. In race 1, my tires was gone after 14 laps, and you managed to go for 19 laps. So I think Pavel is a little bit bluffing. So
yeah. So I think for now
he will say these sweet words and then go practice 24.7 on the next round.
I think we should agree on that for now we can say Malta strong, Poland strong, Polska górą.
A great ending indeed.
Yeah, so I'm sure visit to Valletta, I'm sure the Prime Minister will welcome you warmly with that debut result. So Matheus and Pavel, thank you so much, and best luck in 2 weeks' time as well.
Thank you.
See you. Bye.
Good night.
Bye. I was looking for Domenico because of how well Apex did, but I think we can move on to LEF and have Sven and Lorenzo in for a chat. So we'll get those two guys in.
My thoughts entirely.
Hi Sven, hey Lorenzo, can you hear us?
Hey, yes, we can hear you.
Perfect stuff. So Sven, a fabulous race too, it must be said. So would you like to describe how you got on?
Yeah, it was a pretty cool return, especially race 2 went pretty well. Big thanks to LEF Auto Racing, and then my spotter and engineer for today, Messi, was very helpful. It's been quite a few years since I've sim raced here at GPVWC, and not much over the last few years, so I was a little bit rusty, and I think I showed that with P21 in qualifying. Obviously, not where we want to be, but to go from 21st to 13th, and then 13th to 4th in race 2 was a nice race and a nice result for the team.
Without a doubt, yeah. I suppose it was certainly Alexander. We had a great look at how he got on in race 1. I think it was a bit more in his favour. He was able to run quite long and benefit from that. Unfortunately, he had some bad luck as well. So, what was your thinking after race 1? Did you feel there was something different? Like we saw Pavel try soft tires and it paid off for him. So what did you think gave you the edge in race 2?
I think the harder tires worked better for me. To be quite frank, I haven't really have much time to practice, so I hadn't tried the hard tires until the pit stop in race 1. But I found that they worked better for me than the soft tires did. So race 1 was essentially pretty long test for me, and then get a good feel for those hard tires and pretty confidently going into race 2. Obviously, race 2 had quite a few incidents, and managed to steer around those. Very narrowly missed Meadow Clont there towards the end. But other than that, it seemed to work out pretty well for us. We kept it relatively clean. The guys made a very stable setup for the car, which helped out a lot as well.
Yeah, and Lorenzo, you were in our YouTube chat as well. Very high viewership, certainly at the beginning of race 1, to prove our excitement was well deserved. So obviously the moment with Alexander at the final corner, so you went from your driver in the points to having no points, and then there was contact between Raboli and Michalak, so you ended up having a car in the points again. So how did you feel with that moment?
Stressed, very, very stressed. But yeah, unfortunately it didn't work out well at that moment, and then it didn't. I did talk with Alexander after the race. He did flat spot his left front tire there, unfortunately. And after getting to basically the trouble area for everyone in this race, the fast chicane, he kind of lost control over the curb and spun out, and race 1 was over for him there. But yeah, I can't say I'm not happy with him. Alexander has proven to me in leagues other than GPVWC that he's a man who's gonna work to get to the pace where he got, and unfortunately luck just wasn't on his side today. But I'm confident with this is only round 1. We got 15 more rounds, and if this bad streak continues of luck, I think that something's going to be really, really wrong, but it shouldn't really, with how motivated Alexander is towards improving and how motivated he is to do well. And we've seen him do well. He got P14 in qualifying. He was only 5/10 of, I think, pole position for his first race in FS1, especially by jumping FS2 and only doing 2 rounds, I think, of Academy last year. I think he can be very proud of himself, and he set himself onwards to Turkey, so I think we can expect a lot from him in Turkey, as well as from Sven, of course.
Yeah. I suppose the ending with Giuseppe, obviously he has the experience dating back just 12 months ago, as opposed to Sven, I think, in the 2020 and prior to that as well, so that kind of different knowledge of the car and the circuit. Were you hoping to go for broke and get the podium, or Lorenzo, would you have just been delighted no matter what, as long as you got the 4th place?
I mean, obviously a podium in your debut round would be absolutely amazing. I don't know how many teams in GPVWC in general, let alone Formula Sprint 1, can hold that title, really, but unfortunately it just wasn't to be. I did see, I think, Sven, did you clip Mano there? Because it looked like that on stream.
No, probably like a hair off.
Yeah, but yeah, I did see Sven push really hard to get him. Unfortunately, pushed a bit too hard at one place.
Yep.
But P4 and P13 for his races back is pretty good. I'm very happy. It could have been double points realistically in both races. Alexander, of course, was P14 at one point in race 1. Race 2, he was up to P11. He gained 12 positions off of his starting position. Just wasn't to be again, as I say.
Alex, do you have any questions for the guys?
Sven, welcome back. Amazing driving in the sprint race. I'll also have a question for you, Lorenzo, as well. Sven, how does it feel being back on track, and how does it feel almost reaching that podium in race 2?
Honestly, pretty cool. Like I said, I haven't sim raced in a while, and I got some brand new pedals, so trying to get that feel locked in. So I'll be doing some more testing for the next round. Hopefully, be a bit more prepared than I was for today. But it's been fun to be back at GPVWC. Great competition, great car, great track. So I'm looking forward to the next few rounds, and hopefully we'll move further, and hopefully we can secure one of those podium spots and maybe even a win. Who knows?
Yeah, fantastic belief and attitude, guys. I'm very, very pleased.
Also,
You've
I have
gotten
one more
up
question.
to-
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Alex. Yeah, go ahead.
One more follow-up. This one's for Lorenzo. I like to keep it even. So, Lorenzo, a great first race for both drivers, including Sven, of course, of the round one. How do you feel? How do you feel your team would do? For the coming races this year.
Well, I have full trust in my drivers. If I didn't, then obviously they wouldn't be my drivers. But I think that Sven's skill is undeniable and Alexander's skill as well. They both have the drive to improve. They both have the will to get this team where we all collectively want it. And I think if luck is on our side, I think we can challenge for the top 5 in the constructors this season. Obviously, no big grandiose expectations for our first season on the GPWC grid, but I think top 5 if things go our way. Top 5 at 7th at the least is a realistic expectation because I know what my drivers are capable of, and it's just a matter of luck being on our side and getting the results that we all want and we know that we deserve.
Thank you very much.
Nice one, guys. Apologies to Alex there for being hasty, but I suppose
okay.
now's a good time to let you go, and best of luck in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you.
I think we've time for just one last interview. I think Zeeuw Soppinen has been waiting for his turn, so we'll have a chat with him. But obviously, he didn't get to finish either race, so it should be interesting to hear how he got on in those 2 disappointments, obviously. So let's bring in Zeeuw. Hi, Zeeuw, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Very good. So, I'm sorry to say that you retired from both races. Which one would you like to talk about first? Because I don't think we saw race 2, how your race ended. So maybe that one first.
Let's just go with race 1. Struggled with qualifying. It's terrible, to be fair. To be honest, for me, I felt first comfortable with the car, but then over 48 plus hours of practice in total for this race, I just completely let's just say screwed it up. And then race 1, I got hit by Thomas Smith, but early on I do say that it was my fault. Of course, I just didn't know what happened. I actually hurt my hand in that process. It still hurts, a lot. I can't. I don't want to swear on this stream. Don't worry. But race 2, I was fighting. I was trying to fight for points. I overly pushed the car. I was, trying to go for a move. I really was too eager. I got the adrenaline the better of me, and me, Raymond, and Micah went 3 wide. That caused Raymond and me to crash out, and I was out of the process as well. And that was it for me. I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed what happened to me, and also really disappointed with my performance for today. I want to also apologize to Raymond and Mateusz and Thomas for the crash. It wasn't their fault. Both crashes were my fault. I take the blame for that.
Yeah, I really do appreciate the honesty. It's not easy. The fact that you have the sore hands, you're physically sore, and mentally you're sore as well, knowing that has happened. But at least, yeah, I'm sure you can take the report to the stewards, just say, yeah, it was my fault, and I'll take whatever penalties come my way. So to bring back a bit of positivity, Tom got some points in race 2. So 0-1 Esports actually get off to a very good start, all things considered, to open the account straight away with Tom driving so well in race 2.
Yeah, I mean, Tom he's a really great driver, and honestly, a very great friend of mine, and he has also practiced a lot. We just practice a lot also, but I over practice, but he did really good in that race. I'm proud of him as well, as I'm his teammate and also a really great friend of his off track, and he's the one to look out for, because I mean, he came from academy just like me, but he had 2 races in academy, but overall what he's done over his race was fantastic. He even started from the pit lane. That's the thing. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, that was him.
That's really impressive.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
one of the best drives I've seen from my teammate.
Yeah, just we don't get the summary if someone starts in pit lane on our formation lap. So yeah, that is very good intel to know. You had to fight all the way from pit lane to score points. I suppose my last question before I pass to Alex, if he wants to chip in, would be: is the Istanbul Park, is that a track you enjoy? Is it one you have experience on? Could it give you a bit better look?
Oh yeah, it's giving me a lot of good races. Istanbul Park, of course, I feel like I could get some points, but I'm not gonna jinx it already. But I'll try my best, obviously, and honestly, it's not gonna be as easy as anything before. So that's one to list there, and also just need to practice more. Give it a little bit of a rest also, so my mental health doesn't go more down. And yeah, I just also want to thank also Gotchper and Cody for supporting me through all of this. And yeah, also I want to thank Vilja as well for being here.
Excellent, Zeeuw. Yeah, that's wonderful. Lots of great support behind you. And now I'll give Alex his opportunity to ask you a question.
Yeah, firstly, commiserations on tonight. I know it didn't go on your favour, and of course, I do wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. I'm sure, which kind of brings to my question: what do you think of the calendar for this year? Do you have some favourite tracks that you may have spark some good performance on?
Spa-Francorchamps and Monza are one of my favorite tracks. Even Singapore as well. If I remember, was it on the calendar or?
Which one? Sorry.
Singapore.
Yes, it's on the
Singapore.
calendar.
Yeah,
Sweet.
year,
yeah. That's a really good track for me.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So. I don't want to be, I won't speak too much about it, but I'll be rooting for you, of course.
Wait, you lagged up for me a little bit. I did not,
Bit
hear
there, Alex.
anything.
Oh, sorry, my internet might be a bit iffy. It's getting a little late, so but yeah, I was just saying I'll keep those tracks, your favorite tracks noted, and I really hope you do well on them, and I wish you good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, this is only the first race. Anything can happen in the rest of the season. I just gotta push hard and work hard.
Of course. But
Yeah,
yeah.
lovely stuff. I'll let you go now, Zeeuw. Get your sore hand in some ice or whatever you can treat it with, and hope you'll be fighting fit for next time in Turkey.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to the Turkish Grand Prix.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for your time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And that completes our interview segment, Alex. So job well done on your competitive debut as well. So, would you like to give your thoughts before we wrap things up for today?
I'd say, amazing racing from everyone. Commiserations to Supinen. And I genuinely, wish him luck in the next races as the year comes by. Huge congrats to the big standouts, Multiforce GP dominating the field, race 1, and Andrzejewski dominating it in race 2, and a nice debut. Is it Team Iris's first race in FS1?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, good debut for them with Lua taking home some crucial points. And yeah, I really can't wait to see how the rest of the season unfolds.
Yeah, me too. So Turkey is sort of off and on again in the calendar, so it wasn't part of last year. I think it was 2 years ago. So yeah, now that we're leaving this sort of semi-street circuit onto a permanent circuit, could liven things up a bit for certain drivers, giving them a fair shot. But of course, the season opening action doesn't stop with ourselves. I know we had FS2 on Tuesday, but there's more to come. We have SL2, of course, next Tuesday. And then we look forward to the main event, Superlights, this time next week. So plenty more action where that comes from. So yeah, indeed, Academy as well. We've seen them get going quickly themselves. So lots more action to come as the month of March is still young. So without further ado, it's time to wrap things up for today. It's been a very memorable season opener. I've been on Harmon. Alex Hallows has been beside me in commentary. Remco Zeeuw has been the broadcast director, working very hard with all those replays, quick cuts to make sure we catch as much as we possibly can for the show. And I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye-bye for now.